with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A tragic death occurred in the city of Selma as a player from the Morgan Academy suffered a traumatic brain injury and died. 16-year-old Caden Tellier was injured during a Friday night football game. The Morgan Academy football team was playing a home game against the Southern Academy Cougars. Morgan Academy is now suspending all other school activities this week in light of the loss to the school and community. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the Afternoon on a Monday, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. You know, Monday's the worst day of the week, but we can still celebrate. We can still be happy, I think. At least I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. You know, I do this on occasion. Eddie Bader's in the studio. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
All right, Joey, how you doing?
I'm great.
What's this new leaf you're going to turn over?
I'm trying to be positive, not so angry. And with the politics, we're trying to do like wholesome, fun things that everybody can sort of celebrate, if that makes sense.
Are we taking bets on how long this lasts? Like hours, minutes, seconds? First
It'll probably, if I was putting the bet, it'd probably be minutes.
Yeah, but, I'm guessing so too.
Especially because of our first guest here. She is fantastic. Just getting to know her off air. We have Beth Petty in the studio. She and her husband, Jeff, essentially run the Hank Williams Museum downtown. How are you doing today, Beth?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good to be here.
New leaf, as I was saying, try not to do the politics. So there's a big event coming up celebrating Hank's 101st, right?
That's correct. Yes. 101. We call it Celebrate Hank 101.
Celebrate Hank 101, and this will be on September the 14th, a Saturday.
A Saturday.
And at the Davis Theater.
Yes.
And
we this will be our second year to do it at the Davis. They're great.
And who is performing?
Well, we have a steel guitar show. It's sort of a mini steel guitar show. We have 4 players with fiddles and steels and the bass, everything, you know, the whole band. We'll have Jeremy Drawball from North Alabama. We've got Jake Penrod from Texas, Wyatt Allman from Texas. And then the Malpas Brothers steel guitar player will also be on the show.
Okay.
So that's 4 of those, and then we'll have a lot of singing from other entertainers as well. That starts at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll have the Malpas Brothers. The Malpas Brothers are great traditional country music. They have their own TV station on RFD TV now.
Oh, wow.
I believe they were on the Grand Ole Opry this past weekend.
Oh, wow.
So they're all traditional country. They love Hank Williams. So we thought it would be a great fit.
Oh, certainly.
To get those guys.
And those are true players. I mean, anytime you're doing the traditional style, especially traditional country, I think it's deceptive how difficult that style of music is and how easy these types of folks make it look.
Absolutely. When you play in Hank Williams, you've got to have that.
Oh, yeah. And it just, I know that the chops are going to be real and it should be great entertainment. But if folks want to purchase tickets, how can they do so?
Well, we have our tickets actually by calling the museum 334-262-3600. Or you can go online, and those are for VIP tickets. To go online, you can order the general admission tickets, thehankwilliamsmuseum.net.
thehankwilliamsmuseum.net.
And we have a few VIPs left.
Okay.
The general admission are selling well, but we can use more. Just come on out and have a great time that day. Listen to some good old country music. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not a bad time. I don't think Auburn or Alabama playing anybody so important.
That's important.
Yeah, that's a good plus.
And also, you were telling me off air, his actual birthday is the 17th?
Yes. We always try to celebrate the weekend closest to that.
That makes sense. And it's not just the afternoon at 3 there with the performances, all the music and all the fun. There's going to be a memorial service and wreath laying in the morning on Saturday?
So at 8:45, start gathering at the Oakwood Cemetery Annex. We do that every year. Been doing it for, gosh, I don't know, 71 years, I guess. That's how long Hank's been dead.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a group of guys that play, a grandfather and the grandsons, called the Shepherd family. They are coming back. They come back every year, and from Troy. And they're related to Audrey Shepherd Williams. Audrey was Hank Williams' wife and Hank Jr.'s mother. They come back every year to perform a few songs, and we have the annual wreath laying there at the grave. We have a group of people who gather. It's usually a pretty good group. And then we'll come back to the museum and have a little music, say from 11 to 2, before we go over to the theater. There'll also be maybe some music on Friday afternoon if anybody's in town coming from a long distance, because we've got people coming from everywhere.
Oh, I bet.
In the United States.
And I'll be at the museum as well.
It will be right in front of Hank's Cadillac. We call it the Blue Cadillac Concerts.
And so, Eddie was asking you off air, like, how many folks, I'd imagine this is as you just said, a lot of folks from all over the country are showing up for this.
They are. We've had people from Michigan to Texas, California, Maine. We got some folks from all over Tennessee and Georgia, Mississippi. Yeah, they're from everywhere. I was trying to remember the ones who have actually ordered tickets for VIP. The VIP tickets will actually get you one of those silicone armbands that says 101, and also a free visit to the museum that day on Saturday.
Okay.
And again, this is Celebrate Hank 101. The VIP tickets are $45. It includes that armband and free admission to the museum, and general admission for the show in the afternoon is $30. Again, I've got the information here. Go to thehankwilliamsmuseum.net, or I've got a telephone number. If folks want to call in, we can get that to you. Or I'd imagine they can stop by the museum too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Stop by the museum and order, pick up your tickets there.
And I just love that it's like music the whole time. Like, I mean, that's, I think, the right way to celebrate.
Traditional music.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of Hank Williams music, but we also throw in and mix some of the other traditional country artists who were influenced by Hank Williams. You know, you have thousands of people, and they're still with this generation being influenced by Hank Williams.
Yep. How long have you and your husband been running the museum?
25 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. My husband's he's been involved about 22 years, but yeah, I've been there the whole time. We opened in 99. My parents are the founders.
Okay. And it's kept it in the family. And it's really one of the iconic destinations for anybody visiting Montgomery. It's like, well, you have to go here.
Mm-hmm.
This
yeah,
is
you have to
legend.
actually come and experience what's there. You know, his baby blue Cadillac is there, and that is the real car that he passed away in. And we are offering a picture with the Cadillac with your admission ticket.
Oh, cool.
Not in it, but outside of
right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see 17 pieces of his snooty suits, his real stage clothes, his boots, hats, ties, awards, furniture that was in his home. So much, but it's all in one. Hank Jr. visits us often. You never know when you might run into him.
That's
so true.
I was about to say that's a special treat. That's not something we're setting up. Maybe he stops by, maybe he doesn't.
Yes, he does. 4 times this past year. So yeah,
Is that
we're on
right?
a roll.
Wow. And I'd imagine throughout the year you have folks stopping by the museum, but also folks stopping by the gravesite.
Just probably as many stop by there, and if they haven't been, we send them. We'll give them directions how to get up there, and they love it.
Oh, I bet
love
they
it.
do.
It's one of the most beautiful plots I've ever seen.
And again, folks, this is big celebration. Celebrate Hank 101 is happening on the 14th of September, Saturday. The memorial service in the morning starting about 8:45 there at Oakwood Cemetery Annex, and then the more music and entertainment and fun at the museum from 11 to 2 that day. And then at 3 at the Davis Theater, you've got the big steel guitar show, which really, that's going to be a great setup. And again, I'm not, I play a little guitar, but I'm not skilled in this way, especially the steel pedal folks. Like, that is an instrument that
Oh, the
will
steel
blow
guitar,
your
amazing.
mind, like how complex it is to play, but the sounds it can make are just heavenly. I love that thing.
These steel guitar players are young folks. I want to say that because
Is that right?
this new generation of entertainers coming up loving Hank Williams music is fascinating to me. I've seen all ages, but these kids are, I mean, they have a steel guitar like Hank Williams steel guitar player had, Don Helms, you know, and they're so proud of that. They find one at sales or whatever, have them built, but they play the not just the pedal steel, but the other,
Right?
and they're fantastic. It's going to be a great show. We encourage everybody to come out. It's going to be a really good show.
So, folks, y'all check it out. Did we miss anything?
Well, let's see. I know last year we had such a great show. It was the 100th. It was a 3-day show. But this year, just doing it the one day.
Okay.
But you can still enjoy some music on Friday and Saturday morning.
Excellent.
But go and have your lunch before you come in because the Davis does not have any concessions.
Okay.
And then we'll be out of there before dark. You can meet and greet with the Malpas brothers and the other entertainers as well after the show. Should be over around 6:30.
Well, and folks can always go to the Hank Williams Museum .net, or I this morning searched the Hank Williams Museum right there on Facebook, or the Book of Faces as I call it, and you can get all this information, look it over again. But again, folks, y'all check it out on September the 14th. Should be a great show, and appreciate what you and the husband and the family
Really
do. Like, this really is an icon here in Montgomery.
Well, it's definitely a labor of love. We've always said that, but it is.
Well, and
We're open 7 days a week too.
oh, good.
Oh, wow.
Till 4 every day, and we get a lot of traffic with all the conventions going
I
on,
bet.
the ball games, whatever's going on. So
Well, I appreciate your time, Beth, and it's great meeting you. For folks who don't know, we're neighbors, so it's good to
Right.
meet you, neighbor.
good to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And more news and views in the afternoon. See, here comes the test after the break. This new leaf. Am I going to continue to be happy? Because I'm
Nope,
very happy
'cause
talking about
I'm going
this.
to do something during the break.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. Through 7 months of 2024, over 2,900 homes have sold and closed in the River region. The average price was $260,000, and 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less. Since mortgage rates have dropped over a point, buyers can save thousands of dollars in payments of what it would have been just 8 weeks ago. The supply of homes has increased, giving buyers more choices than they've had all year. To identify your next home, focus on what's important to you as features that will make the move worthwhile. By getting pre-approved with a local lender, hiring the best home inspector, and most importantly, hiring an experienced buyer agent will make it all go smoothly. For a list of 17 essential buyer agent services and a list of the best lenders and local inspectors, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather. Hi, everybody. Last week of August, and we've got Labor Day weekend coming up. Today, much like yesterday, with plenty of sunshine, hot temperatures. I think we're going to go up to about 97 for a high today. Sunshine, still dry, with clear skies tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 71. Then, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think we'll be in the upper 90s to near 100. Mostly sunny. Still dry through Wednesday, maybe some isolated, widely scattered storms possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but nothing widespread. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Do appreciate Beth Petty stopping by.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, now let's get into the news. Of course, the biggest news was RFK Jr.
Yeah.
So did you see him show up at the Trump rally? One of the more epic walkouts.
I didn't. I kind of checked out Friday afternoon.
That's fair, because he went to the beach.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Foo Fighters song, There Goes My
Oh, yeah.
Hero.
It's a great song.
Yeah, that song.
Except for the next part.
Yeah. Anyway, that part of the song goes up, and it's like huge fireworks and streamer. Like, it looked like the beginning of a WWE event.
Oh, cool.
And somebody had the, state of mind to, like, take a shot of RFK Jr. from backstage walking onto the stage to that.
There you go.
And the pop
There you
from
go.
the crowd was massive, brother. And a lot of love there.
Yeah.
And folks are wondering, what is the fallout from this? Is he going to actively campaign? He says yes. He says he thinks other Democrats are going to join on board what he is calling a unity ticket. That, in fact, him and Trump agreed on stuff that we disagree on. We're still going to criticize each other. But we're, adults, and we agree on these few issues, and we're going to work together to see those through.
What's wrong with that? Little collaboration. That's such a bad thing.
Right.
But I did see one thing when I was down there. Instead of MAGA, it was, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, MAHA, M-A-H-A, Make American Healthy Again. That was something with a big...
Yeah.
Is there a pronunciation of that? Or we're just doing acronyms? What are we doing with that?
And then, of course, this morning it broke that Kamala Harris and team are trying to change the debate rules.
Oh!
All of a sudden.
Wait a
and she wants to sit down and have notes.
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
And, of course, now it's hashtag Trump is a coward.
Because she can't have a cheat sheet?
Right.
But he's the coward.
Well, because this is the, what is that word for a woman?
Tread lightly there, brother.
It's a miserable female party at this point.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes. That's how they act. And by the way, their big thing is they're trying to make an old photo of Doug Inhofe. Doug Inhofe is a sex symbol for the progressives.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see that. I've seen a few photos of Doug, but I've never seen one that I thought would be the least bit.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want politicians talking about being sex symbols.
Not really.
Maybe Anna Paulina Luna can pull it off. Like there might be a young Democrat in the.
Yeah, but when she does things like that, she gets criticized.
Right.
But we're going to let. No.
So we're going to take this silly goose of a man, show an old photo of him, be like, he's so dreamy. Oh. So gross. But yeah, the changing of the debate rules, really, we're just going to change them midstream. It sounds like they're trying to wiggle out of a debate.
Yes,
They don't want to actually
you
debate.
know that's what's going to happen. You know that's the end result because she's only agreed to the one. I think the other one she's already gotten out of.
Well, and it's this sort of thing where it's like, the classic folklore, Hans Christian Andersen, the emperor has no clothes.
Right.
Well, I think
Said for
now,
years.
in many ways, the corporate press in particular, but also a lot of the establishment, Republicans and Democrats alike, they're naked and everybody can see it.
Yep.
But folks often forget when you, do you know what happens next? The little boy cries out, he's not wearing
He's
anything.
naked.
Or if it was the Southern version, he naked.
Naked.
Naked. He's naked, Dad.
Yep. Naked as a jaybird.
You know what happens after that? The rest of the crowd then goes, yeah, he is naked.
Yeah.
He's seeing that. He done everything on.
Yep.
And then what happens after that?
Honestly, I don't remember.
The emperor and his noblemen keep walking as though they're still wearing clothes.
That's not surprising.
Because they have to.
Yeah.
They shiver a second and go, damn, they're probably
that's
right.
exactly what we have here.
But that's exactly what's going on, what you're seeing with the American, say, ruling elite and especially the corporate press and the Democratic Party right now.
Yep.
Everybody can see they have no clothes, but they have no choice but to keep walking on. And there's still some people in the crowd that is America going, yeah, you still got clothes? Beautiful clothes, man. Your clothes are just, that is the bee's knees right there.
Well, that's a good
Beautiful
point.
stuff.
That answers a lot of the man on the street interviews I see when they ask, what's your favorite policy from Kamala? And they look stunned for a second, but their answer will be, I like them all. There's not one in particular I like more than others. I like them all. Then they ask him, well, can you tell me one of her policies? Crickets.
Now, there are Democrats that don't trust the corporate press. If you see the breakdown, that's what I wrote about this weekend for my op-ed coming out tomorrow for 1819 News. Sign up at 1819news.com.
There you go.
You'll get it right there in your inbox in the morning. But it was, when you look at trust in media is now lower than it was even in 2016.
Oh, no doubt.
But if you look at it's about 36%, 32, 36%. Depends on how you ask the question and whatnot. But, do you fully trust, somewhat trust, don't believe a damn word? You can give a spectrum. rather than asking straight up, do you trust him or not? I think that's a better way of going about it. But let's say it's 32% of the, and this is according to not Rasmussen or Bob's Bait and Tackle and Polling Shop.
Well, they're zero.
Media. Haven't they been burned down yet?
Right.
Somebody tell the BML rioters there's gold at CNN or something. I don't know.
See?
In the walls. Tear down the walls.
That's where it's at.
No, but this is Gallup. So this is pretty accurate. Gallup polling has been doing this question, Trust in Media, for decades now. Trust in Media was at its highest in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
When we had how many news outlets?
Ike, JFK, LBJ.
The big three news
It was
outlets,
something like 70, near 80% of Americans trusted the media. And now it is, again, in the toilet, 32%. But what keeps it so high at 32%? Something like 73% of Democrats still trust them. So if you're wondering who's buying into the corporate press, it's many folks who consider themselves lifelong Democrats. But I'm here to say that there are a lot of Democrats, maybe who have long been supporting RFK Jr., that do not trust the corporate press. That 27% don't trust them.
I've seen a few of them.
And it doesn't mean they're going to give up their left-wing perspective on things. But it does mean that I'm not going to buy that the emperor has clothes anymore. It's plain as day. I have friends on the right, left, center, radicals on the right and left. Like, everybody's like, yeah, they're naked. They're naked. And we're going to say it in forms where we're allowed to say it. So here's, I'm sure you're familiar with this fella, Brett Weinstein.
I know of Mr. Weinstein.
Yeah, he's, would you say he's pretty left-wing? Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a tad.
Even more so than his brother Eric. Like, it's just, he's very left-wing. But here is him on Patrick Bet-David's podcast, kind of laying out why he's going for Trump now, especially after Bobby Kennedy partnered with Trump. So take it away, Brett.
Let me just be perfectly clear about this. I think the modern Democratic Party is an existential threat to the Republic. And although I am a Democrat, I've been a Democrat my whole life, the party that I see in front of me today is literally the inverse of the party I signed up for. This is now the party of war. This is the party of racism. This is the party of censorship. I don't recognize this party. There is no conceivable scenario in which I would vote for Kamala Harris. I just simply will not do it. Am I open to voting for Trump? I am. I'm especially open to it if he is partnered with Bobby Kennedy, because what that tells me is that my values, which are a much closer match for Bobby's, are represented in that administration. And that's really what I want. I want a coalition to redefine American politics because, frankly, we have a long-standing problem with corruption, which has now turned into something else with the modern Democratic Party. But we need to rethink the way we govern ourselves so that corruption is not the dominant force. And a coalition is the way we're going to do that.
Yeah. A coalition to redefine American politics. I think that's, if you're wondering, where are these folks? Who are these folks that RFK all of a sudden endorses Trump?
Yeah.
Is teaming up with Trump. Who are these folks that are going toward? It's folks like that. There are a lot of them. There are millions. And let's say, Kennedy's polling suggested 50-something to 60% of people supporting him would move if he said, go support Trump and go support Trump. And he's only doing it on 10 major states where he could have played the spoiler. He's only removing his name off the ballot in 10 battleground states where he was playing spoiler because he made a conscious choice. I do not want to help Kamala Harris in this corrupt party, this corrupt regime. So I might as well just straight up give what I was writing this weekend.
Okay.
It'll come out tomorrow at 1819news.com. One begins to distrust very clever persons when they become embarrassed. Who do you think said that, Eddie? I'm actually taking a course on him at Peterson Academy.
I have no idea.
Frederick Nietzsche.
I was going to go with Machiavelli.
No. But it could, good guess. But one begins to distrust very clever persons when they become embarrassed. And then, of course, from The Emperor's New Clothes, the Emperor shivered, for he suspected they were right. But he thought, this procession has got to go on. So he walked more proudly than ever, as his noblemen held high the train that wasn't there at all. If you would like to know who's in charge, simply look for who benefits the most from prevailing double standards, especially those beneficiaries who reap their reward without any hint of embarrassment, guilt, or shame, even after being found out. All men are hypocrites to one degree or another, no doubt, but few are afforded the privilege and prestige to celebrate their naked hypocrisy as part of some clever scheme on the right side of history. The American ruling class, but especially the corporate press, have long been proud of their affordance to brand all other Americans' cleverness a sin, while remaining shamelessly clever themselves. Indeed, Donald Trump's original political sin wasn't merely that he won the White House in a clever way, but that he embarrassed the American elite in the process. Trump's cheeky, impudent victory in 2016 was something akin to saying the emperor has no clothes, and much of the American crowd has followed suit in seeing the naked truth of a corrupt system. The media has been particularly singled out for shame and embarrassment. The fake news media, failing New York Times, CNN, NBC News, and many more, is not my enemy. It is the enemy of the American people. Sick. That is what Trump tweeted all the way back in February of 2017. Years later, polling research suggests the corporate press still hasn't recovered. According to Gallup, only 32% of Americans trust the media. Gallup summarizes their findings this way. American confidence in the mass media to report the news fully, fairly, and accurately is at its lowest point since 2016, when Republicans' trust fell sharply. This low confidence reading for the Fourth Estate comes at a time when trust in each of the three branches of the federal government is also low. In addition, Gallup in June found confidence readings in both TV news and newspapers that were near their historical lows, and last December found a record low tying rating of the honesty and ethics of journalists. Although partisans remain sharply divided in their views of the media, Democrats' trust fell significantly this year. Still, a majority of Democrats, but few Republicans, continue to have confidence in the mass media. Republicans' low confidence in the media has little room to worsen, but Democrats could still deteriorate and bring the overall national confidence reading down further. Yet, despite these trends, the corporate press remains unrepentant and seemingly incapable of change. They're being laughed at by their own audience now. I remember Colbert and Caitlin Collins. Yet, rather than apologize and change course, the prestige media is more shamelessly desperate than ever to keep deeming all other Americans' cleverness a sin. Why? Because they have no choice. This procession has got to go on. They must embrace the lie, deny the truth, and somehow prevent the people from believing their own eyes. Emperors walk proudest when everyone knows they have no clothes, else they further let slip their embarrassment and betray the people's trust. Alas, the farther an emperor's party walks proudly, naked as the day, pretending to hold high a train that isn't there, the greater their embarrassment and the people's distrust increases all the same, encouraging new voices to join a growing chorus of dissent. The American elite's worst fears now seem manifest, most of all the fear that Donald Trump was just the spark that has ignited a wider populist revolt against the Washington Uniparty. The disbelief is bigger than Trump. Driven by the tumultuous media revolution and a distended distrust in America's ruling institutions, new challengers to the status quo continue to emerge. Now, we played the speech on Friday, but I want to quote, I think, the money part of this.
All right.
This is RFK Jr., what he said in his address to the nation. He says, quote, "Over the course of more than a year, in a campaign where my poll numbers reached at times as high as the 20s, the DNC-allied mainstream media networks maintained a near-perfect embargo on interviews with me. During his 10-month presidential campaign in 1992, Ross Perot gave 34 interviews on mainstream networks. In contrast, during the 16 months since I declared ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, and CNN combined gave only 2 live interviews for me. Those networks instead, they ran a continuous deluge, hit pieces with inaccurate, often vile pejoratives and defamatory smears. Some of those same networks then colluded with the DNC to keep me off the debate stage. Kennedy, who announced something of a populist unity party with Trump during this speech, continued laying out why the corporate press has no clothes. Representatives of those networks are in this room right now. And I'll just take a moment to ask you to consider the many ways that your institutions have abdicated this really sacred responsibility. It's the duty of a free press to safeguard democracy and to challenge always the party in power. Instead of maintaining that posture of fierce skepticism towards authority, your institutions and media made themselves government mouthpieces and stenographers for the organs of power. You didn't alone cause the devolution of American democracy, but you could have prevented it. The mainstream media was once the guardian of the First Amendment and democratic principles, but has since joined this systemic attack on democracy. Also, the media justifies their censorship on the grounds of combating misinformation. But governments and oppressors don't censor lies. They don't fear lies. They fear the truth. And that's what they censor. Again, that will come out tomorrow. But I thought ending with RFK's words there, that is crucial. And there are a lot of folks who have always voted Republican.
Yep.
Who have always voted Democrat. Who have long been and lost in the world of the 2-3% libertarian movement. Spent a lot of time there. And I'll probably spend some more time there.
Maybe
and there are a
will.
lot of people just who don't necessarily fit the mold of any particular party, the politically homeless, the independents, so to speak. There are so many people who are seeing exactly what RFK Jr. sees.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are seeing exactly what we're seeing. This movement, whatever you want to call it, MAGA or something else, is bigger than Donald Trump. And the beautiful thing is Trump seems to now understand that.
Yep.
So we'll see where it goes and how the needle moves in the coming days. I mean, there are polls out showing that Harris is up like 5-10 points.
Who put that poll out? She put that poll out? Did she put that out there?
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we believe you. She's up by 5 or 10 points. Keep believing that crap.
Okay.
Give me a break, man. And actually, there are a bunch of those fake polls trying to show a bump from the convention. But, of course, James Carville, bunch of preachy females. Party of preachy females.
I really don't feel like they got a bump.
Yeah, it's James Carville on why Trump's poll numbers are lulling Democrats into a false sense of security. Yeah, I don't think they got a bump either.
I just don't, man.
Yeah, Carville cautioned Democrats against falling into a false sense of security as polls show Vice President Kamala Harris leading the race against former President Donald Trump, echoing many of the private concerns of Harris's allies who feel the polls are a bit more rosy than the reality. You think? The same polls commissioned by all these networks, they're naked.
Yeah.
But they got to keep the procession
Well,
going.
that's
Like,
easy,
no,
right?
everything's great. Everything's fine. It's so, Kamala, you're so beautiful and smart. And the greatest speech of all time was given at the Democrats' convention by Kamala Harris. The greatest speech of all time.
I know I missed it, but I didn't even hear it.
Actually, had a family member tell my grandfather that. And I wanted to be like, what's he, like, did the marijuana gummy kick in?
Yeah, pretty hard, pretty early.
Mushrooms? Like, what is it? Because that's insane. But Carville stressed on Real Time with Bill Maher that Harris will have to work harder to win the Electoral College. He says, I challenge Democrats with some caution here. First of all, most want to say we have to win by 3 in the popular vote to win the Electoral College. So when you see a poll that says we up 2, well, that's actually you're 1 down if the poll's correct. The other thing is Trump traditionally, when he's on the ballot, chronically underpolls. Harris is currently polling ahead of Trump nationally by less than 2 points, according to the Real Clear Politics average, though the former president is leading in several battleground swing states. The poll aggregator, 538, is Harris leading by 3.5 points, essentially. Traditionally, with Trump on the ballot, Democrats say, oh, James, you're a Debbie Downer. I'm not. I'm just telling you, you got to win by 3. I think actually Carville's onto something.
Yeah, I
here.
think he is too.
Because if you had to ask me, I think this thing's a freaking coin flip if we were voting today. Like, who knows? Still a very tough race.
Oh, no doubt.
Say others who work for Democratic polling firms. So we'll see. We'll see. The numbers that they aren't showing you are probably the ones that are real.
Right.
Other recent polls have shown a slight edge for the former president, including one done by Rasmussen, but it's Rasmussen.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think the polls, let's say there was a debate Friday, this coming Friday. How do you think the polls would be on Monday? Because I think, honestly, that debate is going to put a knife in the heart of that presidential campaign. It's
very possible.
And especially now they're putting up, let's basically call it what it is, delay tactics.
Oh, yeah. And calling him chicken because he doesn't want to agree to the rule changes. Here's Trump addressing that question of changing the debate rules this morning. The guy literally wanted 3 debates. They go, we only do 1.
Right.
Same rules. He goes, okay, fine, we should do 3, but we're only do the 1. Let's change the rules. No, you're a coward.
Yeah. Well, that's how soft people act.
Yeah. Naked people. Ugly naked. Oof. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I was at the beach this weekend. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there.
How many mirrors were out there?
It was a very sunny day. Lots of glare coming off the water. Lots of reflections.
Yeah, that's not very flattering. But here's a Trump addressing this question about debate rules being changed.
President Trump, would you want the microphones muted in the debate whenever you're not speaking?
We agreed to the same rules. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on, but the agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time. In that case, it was muted. I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean, ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules. Same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be. But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it.
Yep.
Because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate.
Chicken.
And by the way, Trump is definitely back on X.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see some of that this weekend? Yeah, it wasn't just one-off things.
No.
He's back to sort of his old form, and I love it.
Well, people are going to be screaming if they're not already.
Oh, I freaking love it.
It's hurt my feelings.
Let me try to find this classic one. It just out of nowhere, he drops one. Okay, yeah, this came out, I guess, 2 days ago. Or yesterday, actually, at 11 o'clock in the morning. Who is negotiating for us in the Middle East?
Yep.
Bombs are dropping all over the place. Sleepy Joe is sleeping on a beach in California, viciously exiled by the Democrats, and Comrade Kamala is doing a campaign bus tour with Tampa and Tim, her really bad VP pick. Let's not have World War III because that's where we're heading. Classic Trump tweet.
Yeah. I think there was a point made today as far as the laying of the wreaths on the soldiers passed away from the Afghan withdrawal.
Yep, the 13 who died at Abbey Gate from a suicide bomber.
So you got Biden on the beach, and where is Kamala?
Oh, yeah, and then, of course, Hezbollah was going to strike, and then Israel did a preemptive strike on their missile launchers, and it's, I think, starting. So Israel's looking pretty strong at the moment.
That was unfair. We didn't get to launch our missiles before you shot them down. That's
unfair. It's unfair. All right. Fair is like World War I, where just millions and millions of people die.
Yeah.
In like kind of equal fashion.
Exactly. That's in some people's mind, that's exactly what they're looking for.
That's fair. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Sounds like most people don't, though, today.
Nah, kind of quiet today.
It is quiet today. But, hey, this part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. And there, Clearwater's Reed Waters and his team are ready to help you with tree removal.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be you're removing a whole stinking tree. Like,
could be.
You know it's rotted or you've seen it. It's a leaner.
Yeah, have one of those big old pine trees that you know is slowly dying, dropping
Or
limbs.
even if it's an oak tree, like if you've noticed when storms rolled through that it was swaying, say it's like an 80-footer. If it's swaying like 8 to 10 feet, like maybe it's strong enough.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But maybe not.
Right. And you
maybe
don't want
the ground's a little bit wetter than it was last time.
Are you really going to hope it falls away from your house and not right on top of it?
If you got luck like me, that's not going to happen, Joey.
Or maybe the tree already fell and you just need it taken care of.
Get it cleaned up.
They can help you there at Clearwater's Property Management. Of course, they can also do tree trimming, trim back branches overhanging the house or slapping the siding of the home. Could be line of sight issues or blocking your driveway. Maybe you just have a lot of overgrowth. You want to get rid of that stuff. And of course, they can also do stump grinding.
Yeah.
They can grind down that ugly stump, get rid of that eyesore. That also attracts all sorts of nasty critters like
pests.
bugs and mice and
shrews,
snakes,
armadillos, dig holes in the yard, chasing the bugs.
They can help you out there. Clearwater's Property Management across the board. Again, tree removal, tree trimming, and stump grinding. Their number, 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. And with this, let's hit a break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They like Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month, when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Hello, this is Pam with All About the Bounce. We have been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for a little over a month now and have seen great results. Thank you, Blue Water, for helping us to bring the bounce to more customers across the river region. Radio advertisement is definitely the best advertisement.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's continue to talk about how naked the corporate press is. I think in this clip, it's going to be Jonathan Capehart who says a thing about Kamala Harris in 2019, and then it's going to cut to Jonathan Capehart in 2024, now that the election's underway.
Oh, okay.
Let's check this out. See, this is just one small example of, say, the manipulation and gaslighting, the lying.
One of the programs that she started on Truancy, which is what a lot of people have been hitting my Twitter feed about, how, you know, that program, from their criticism is it separated black children from their families. She talks about the fact that, you know, yeah, there were a lot of tough decisions that were made, but I stand by them. She's going to have to talk about that more fully.
Okay, that was 2019. Now here's 2024, Jonathan Capehart.
Kamala Harris never sent parents to jail for their kids' truancy.
Okay. So even on a small thing on the record there, she is going to get cover from the press.
Right.
Here's another example. Tom Cotton, that tall drink of water. He was on with Jonathan Karl, I believe, of ABC, something like that. And just listen to how Jonathan Karl couches all these questions or reactions to what Cotton's laying down here.
President Trump is going to draw a sharp contrast with Kamala Harris, who has supported things like decriminalizing illegal immigration or giving taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal aliens or taking away health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, banning gas cars, confiscating firearms. These are all
what do you
positions
mean
that-
taking away health insurance? What are you talking about?
She said when she ran for president that she wants to eliminate private health insurance on the job for 170 million Americans, John.
Yeah, I mean that is not her position now. She
How do you know that's not her position? How do you know that's not her position?
I mean, she says she no
She
longer
has not said that.
supports
She has not said
Medicare
that.
for all.
She has not said that. Maybe anonymous aides on a Friday night have said that, but the last thing that she said
But
on
this was not a radical convention. I mean, she, as you heard me go through with Bernie Sanders, she is not taking the positions of the far left of her party. She's clearly making an effort to move to the middle.
I did hear what you said to Senator Sanders, and I thought it was clear that he's very disappointed that she's taking these efforts not to change her positions, but to hide her positions, John. The American people are totally justified to conclude that Kamala Harris is a dangerous San Francisco liberal based on what she campaigned on the last time she ran for president and what this administration has done for the last 4 years. Again, you would have thought watching the Democratic convention last week that the Democrats are not in office, that they're not in power, that they're campaigning against an incumbent Republican, when in reality, she's been part of the failures of the Biden-Harris administration for 4 years. And when she campaigned for president in her own right, she did in fact promise things like decriminalizing illegal immigration and taking away health insurance.
But that's his position she's clearly changed on, and she has said she has changed. Yes, she has.
No, she has not. John, she has not said
Can you
that.
give an example?
She's not. You pointed out to
She's
Senator
changed it.
Sanders repeatedly things that her campaign has said. Anonymous aides speaking on background to reporters has said, well, she no longer believes these things. Okay, maybe she has changed her position on things like taking away your health insurance and confiscating your gun. If she has changed her position, she owes it to the American people to come out and say in her own words when she changed and why she changed. That's one reason why she needs to address the American people and speak to these questions, because the only basis they have to conclude what she will be like as president is what she's done for 4 years in this administration and what she said in her own voice in the last campaign. Remember, these are not like college essays, John. This is what she said when she was campaigning for president as a 54-year-old woman. If she's had such a radical change of heart in the last 5 years, she owes the American people answers.
Yeah, and it's essentially Tom Cotton saying she's naked. She's not wearing any clothes. And it's like, well, clearly I watched the convention. They're wearing clothes. That's Jonathan Karl.
Right.
No, you're just as naked as them, John.
Sure.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Rick, I saw that interview, and it's amazing how much they are coddling Kamala Harris. Literally.
Yeah.
And Tom Cotton did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I thought he held his own, held his frame quite well.
And this is going on constantly. The press is making Kamala Harris position for her. But the debate, now the debate is still on, right?
Yeah, the September 10th one.
Okay. If Trump beats the hell out of Kamala, what's the reckon he's going to get jail time?
Actually, that's a good question. I don't know. Probably good odds.
Yeah.
I think one has a lot to do with the other. And a gentleman said something to me this last weekend, and it's probably obvious, but it's obvious to a lot of us that this was an inside job on the assassination attempt, because they were going to keep Joe Biden until Trump survived the assassination attempt.
No doubt.
No doubt about it.
No doubt, man.
So, this deep state stuff is really something. And I'm glad Donald Trump had a lot of bulletproof around him the other day, because he's going to need it, isn't he, Kevin?
Well, and with Kennedy on stage, with Bobby Kennedy on stage, he promised to establish a commission on assassination attempts and release all documents pertaining to JFK.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Oh, The CIA is not going to be happy. This is a really dangerous wire that high wire that Donald Trump's on, even 10 times more than it was 4 years ago.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, God bless the man. I hope he makes it. Roll Tide, go Front.
Amen.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you fellas out, especially if you've been noticing certain symptoms, like you're never in the mood, like you really are having performance problems in the bedroom. But it could be beyond the bedroom. You're just not motivated in general, like you're lacking energy and drive, physically tired, mentally feel like you're walking through life in a fog. All of this could add up to you have low testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do have low T, well, you need to figure that out, because if that's causing the problem, you can get it fixed there at Montgomery Men's Health. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low T treatments there that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, usually even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
A lot right with that.
Yeah.
You can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Former President Donald Trump tying Vice President Kamala Harris to the chaotic Afghanistan war withdrawal. Trump pointed to comments by Harris that she was the last person in the room before President Biden made the decision on Afghanistan. 13 service members were killed 3 years ago. Heavy rain from Hone passed south of Hawaii and weakened from a hurricane to a tropical storm. A new threat, though, has emerged as Tropical Storm Hector has now formed. The National Hurricane Center says as of now there are no coastal watches or warnings in effect as Hector churned out far at sea. 2 people dead, 3 others in critical condition after a home fire in the Phoenix suburb of Tempe. The Dow rising 89 points, but the NASDAQ is down 145. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word FAITH to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text FAITH to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's FAITH to 989898.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Last week of August, and we've got Labor Day weekend coming up. Today, much like yesterday, with plenty of sunshine, hot temperatures. I think we're going to go up to about 97 for a high today. Sunshine, still dry, with clear skies tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 71. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think we'll be in the upper 90s to near 100. Mostly sunny. Still dry through Wednesday, maybe some isolated, widely scattered storms possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but nothing widespread. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25-horsepower Kubota tractor with front-end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The quarterback of Morgan Academy has died following a weekend game injury. 16-year-old Caden Tellier was rushed to the hospital Friday night after suffering a brain injury during a high school football game in Selma. Caden died of his injuries late Saturday afternoon. Morgan Academy has suspended all school activities this week. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, along with attorney generals from 15 other states, have signed on to a federal lawsuit in the Eastern District of Texas. The legal maneuver is an attempt to stop a new plan from the Biden administration that would grant citizenship to over 1 million illegal aliens. College football is back in the capital city. Montgomery's historic Crampton Bowl debuted a new video board and stadium lights for the FCS kickoff game Saturday night. The city of Montgomery invested more than $2 million to make upgrades to the facility. As for the game, Southeast Missouri State defeated North Alabama 37-15. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it. The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Well, this happened Friday night.
Ever introduced anybody that got applause like that?
That is the response to RFK Jr. at the Trump rally in Arizona on Friday night.
Amazing. It's true.
Yelling, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby.
Soon after I can't even believe I have to say this, nearly assassinated in Pennsylvania last month, Bobby called me to express his best wishes. He knows firsthand the risks incurred by leaders who stand up to the corrupt political establishment. When you stand up, you bring on some trouble for yourself, but you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right for the country. I will tell you, we are both in this to do what's right for the country. That's one thing I can tell you. He lost his father and uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself was subject to repeated threats to his safety during the course of his campaign while being denied protection by the Harris-Biden administration.
True. Yep.
And this is a tribute in honor of Bobby. I am announcing tonight that upon my election, I will establish a new independent Presidential Commission on Assassination Attempts. And they will be tasked with releasing all of the remaining documents pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
By the way, this feed was wonky for everybody, including the news networks.
And they will also conduct a rigorous review of the attack last month. But I tell you, I have never had more people ask me, please, sir, release the documents on the Kennedy assassination. And we're going to do that. And I also want to salute Bobby's decades of work as an advocate for the health of our families and our children. Nobody's done more. Millions and millions of Americans who want clean air, clean water, and a healthy nation have concerns about toxins in our environment and pesticides in our food. That's why today I'm repeating my pledge to establish a panel of top experts working with Bobby to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood diseases, including autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and many more.
Again, that was Trump with, as he's saying all that, Bobby Kennedy is right behind him. And, man, what a pop from the crowd there.
No doubt.
They were into that stuff. And I think this was a huge way for the Trump campaign and for RFK Jr. to say, well, how about them apples to the DNC?
Yes, 100%. Like I said, I don't think they got any pop whatsoever. I didn't hear many people besides your newscasters, and they're pro-Democrat newscasters. But anyway, I didn't hear anybody but them talking about the DNC convention, really. Kind of like over the weekend, that kind of went away, and all people were talking about was Trump and Kennedy.
No, Eddie, it was the greatest speech ever given.
I hate I missed it. But at the same time, I'm glad I missed it.
You know, and folks are saying, well, it's just a failed fringe campaign that's now gone to Trump. And like the disdain and contempt is a two-way street.
Yeah.
Stop acting like it ain't. But Chuck Schumer over the weekend.
Oh, Chuck.
In a session with reporters at the Democratic National Convention, Schumer suggested that should Democrats win the White House, Senate, and House in November, he would seek to end the filibuster for the purposes of passing voting rights and abortion legislation.
Mm-hmm.
It would truly be an inflection point in American government. There's no nuking the legislative filibuster a little bit. The end run around the Senate's long-standing requirement for 60 votes to pass non-fiscal legislation might begin with voting rights and abortion, but it surely won't end there. If a nationwide imposition of abortion on demand can pass with 51 votes, why can't Medicare for All or the Green New Deal? Schumer already says he wants another massive climate bill and waves away any criticism about the national debt. Once the legislative filibuster has been significantly breached, any group of Democratic senators that wants a particular bill would demand that its pet cause get exempted too. And left-wing interest groups would also insist on getting equal treatment. If Planned Parenthood gets a carve-out for national abortion legislation, why wouldn't the unions for all their priorities? And the appetite grows with the eating. Everything that Democrats want, but is currently out of reach for lack of 60 votes or bipartisan support, would become obtainable, from comprehensive immigration reform to national gun control. How about packing the court, adding states to the union, centralizing the regulation of elections, all into Washington, D.C.? But, you know, Trump and them are the radicals.
Of course they are.
But moderate Democrats remain silent. It's quite possible that other Senate Democrats privately believe it would be a mistake to kneecap the filibuster, but they're unlikely to speak up. Everyone could see the pressure and abuse Manchin and Sinema, remember back, they actually said, no, let's not do this. They were subjected to, the abuse they were subjected to. As for potential new Democratic senators after the election in November, they've all been coming out against the filibuster, and there is no Manchin or Sinema-style moderates in the offing. If Schumer were to prevail, the nature of one institution, the U.S. Senate, would be fundamentally changed in order to make it possible to fundamentally change others. This would be a naked power play. It would trample norms and centralize power in Washington in an unprecedented way for progressive ends. the best thing to be said for it is that we've been warned. So what sort of nation do you want? Mm-hmm. And I just find that, no, these people are so up their own that they will never admit they're actually walking around naked.
Of course.
When everybody can see it, except for their faithful.
Like you said, though, what choice they have?
Right.
Can't acknowledge that maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. And then on the abortion issue, J.D. Vance was pressed on this on Meet the Press with Kristen
Welker.
Welker.
Talked about on the campaign trail, abortion. Sure. Democrats made the case this week and beyond this week that Donald Trump, if elected, will impose a federal ban on abortion if he wins. Now, Donald Trump says he won't, but can you commit, Senator, sitting right here with me today, that if you and Donald Trump are elected...
Wait, Donald Trump says he won't, but can you commit today... Okay, go ahead, JD.
...that you will not impose a federal ban on abortion?
I can absolutely commit that, Kristen, and Donald Trump has been as clear about that as possible. I think it's important to step back and say, what has Donald Trump actually said on the abortion question, and how is it different from what Kamala Harris and the Democrats have said? Donald Trump wants to end this culture war over this particular topic. If California wants to have a different abortion policy from Ohio, then Ohio has to respect California, and California has to respect Ohio. Donald Trump's view is that we want the individual states and their individual cultures and their unique political sensibilities to make these decisions, because we don't want to have a nonstop federal conflict over this issue. The federal government ought to be focused on getting food prices down, getting housing prices down, issues, of course, where Kamala Harris has been a total disaster. So I think Donald Trump is right. We want the federal government to focus on these big economic and immigration questions. Let the states figure out their own abortion policy.
Now, do you think she's going to leave it alone?
No.
Do you think she's going to ask the same question again, just in a slightly different way?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Just follow up with you a little bit on that point, because I've been talking to Republicans, including Senator Lindsey Graham, just last week.
Somebody take Lindsey out back and give him the old Yeller treatment. I don't mean that literally, but I'm so tired of Lindsey Graham popping up everywhere, ruining everything for everybody. There goes that new leaf I turned over, all about Lindsey Graham.
That's the one that got you, huh?
God, I've been talking to Lindsey Graham. Shut up, Lindsey. Just shut up. For once in your life, go actually do some real work instead of running to the camera. Ooh, my chance. That's what Gore Vidal said. I never miss an opportunity to be on camera, have sex. It's like, that's pretty gay, Lindsey.
Who've made it very clear that if Donald Trump is elected, if you are elected, they will continue to press this point. Senator Graham said to me, I'm going to keep saying that there should be a federal ban. If such a piece of legislation landed on Donald Trump's desk, would he veto it?
Well, I think it'd be very clear he would not support it. I mean, he said that explicitly. Yeah, I mean, if you're not supporting it as the President of the United States, you fundamentally have to veto it.
So he would veto a federal abortion ban?
I think he would. He said that explicitly that he would. And
I don't
again,
think he's ever said explicitly he would. He said that to you?
Lindsey Graham, Kristen, I would be surprised. I mean, again, I need to see the context on what Lindsey Graham said, because Lindsey Graham himself has not advocated a federal abortion ban. Lindsey Graham has advocated a federal minimum standard. Now, to be clear, that is not Donald Trump's view. Donald Trump disagrees with Lindsey Graham on this, but no Republican, at least no Republican with any reasonable power, is saying that we should have a complete national abortion ban. I haven't heard that from any of my colleagues. And to be clear, Donald Trump, I think, has staked his position and made it very explicit. He wants this to be a state decision. States are going to make this determination themselves.
Yeah, and I wish more issues that come up were decided that way. It might actually inject some energy and talent back into local politics.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah. There might actually be stakes, so, more than 20% show up to go vote.
That would be really nice.
At your state elections, at your local municipal elections, but no, everything has to be decided in D.C., so we'll just have these folks be fake administrators that can't do much for you. Sorry to all my friends on the council. But it's true. Well, we can spend here money that they give us. Like, okay. All right. Sure. Great. What good is it having a government if most of the big decisions are taken away from you? It's barely a government at that point. But of course, J.D. Vance says that. Trump's been saying that for a while. We want to keep this at the state level. In fact, we think we could bring the country together if we continue to do more stuff at the state level. But, of course, they had to bring in this woman, Elizabeth Warren, to react.
Oh, yeah?
What do you think she's going to say? That we don't believe him?
Don't get me started. Jared, she might do the Indian dance.
Off by getting your reaction to what you just heard from Senator J.D. Vance. He says that if legislation banning abortion at the federal level arrived on Donald Trump's desk, if he were to be elected, he believes he would veto it. What's your reaction to that, Senator?
American women are not stupid, and we are not going to trust the futures of our daughters and granddaughters to two men who have openly bragged about blocking access to abortion for women all across this country. Look, right now where we are is if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance take the White House, they have current law, the Comstock Act, which, with the right person that they put into the Department of Justice and one of their extremist judges out in the world, they can actually ban all access to abortion all across this country. And understand, when I say ban access to abortion, I don't mean with, exceptions for rape or incest or a 16-week ban. I mean ban it for every woman anytime she needs it. Because once they take the medications off the market, once they take the surgical instruments off the market, they're not there. And so for any woman who's in the middle of a miscarriage, who goes into an emergency room and discovers there's no medication and no treatment for her because abortion has been banned nationwide, they can thank Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
So they literally just said, we're not going to do that, and that's her response. Okay. Yep. Sounds like you have a problem with the federal government being way too powerful, Senator Warren.
Sounds like she's got a problem with the truth.
No, put us in charge, and the government can be just, at more and more power. Give us more of your money. Even we're going to tax your unrealized gains. Yeah. Like, we're going to give money you haven't even earned yet.
That'll put everybody out of
Like, let's more power, more money. But if the other folks get in there, they're going to abuse that centralized authority. It's like, well, maybe it shouldn't be a question for the central authority.
Exactly.
Maybe the central authority should be abolished in a lot of ways.
I'm down.
Restructured. All sorts of things done to that central authority.
Wrecking ball?
Yeah.
I'm down.
No, everything has to be decided at the national level where we can keep American voters on the right and the left feeling like they're under siege for every few months before a big election, most important election in history, and then we will do nothing for you until we get you all riled up again next election. Effing Lindsey Graham ruining my mood. Shut up, Lindsey. Just shut up. Shutting up. This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro. They're ready to help you with that HVAC system.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the AC. If it's been rumbling all summer, you're playing with fire.
Yes, you are.
Literally and figuratively.
And this week, I think Rich said we'll be back in the hundreds.
Oh, so that was just a false fall?
Yep. It was a good one, though.
Yeah, for a time.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be back again. And you do not want that thing to crap out in the middle of a hot and humid August. Or even September.
Exactly. I was going to say, we got 2 more months of this.
Yes. Or it could be, you just want to invest in a new unit. It could be time, 10, 15, 20-year-old house with an older unit.
Well, you'll start saving money on your electrical bill, no doubt.
And, of course, they have financing with approved credit. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you got to drop a few grand, up front. You can finance it, have it just be, meet your cash flow needs, so to speak. But, of course, they also help out with electrical power systems. Yes. They can do a checkup on your electrical system.
Right.
Or they specialize in installing Generac generators, which not only keeps the power on when the storms roll through, which is crucial for folks for work, or maybe the power's out for a few weeks. Some of y'all have experienced that with tornadoes.
Certainly have, yep.
Or it could be relying on medical devices. You got to keep that power on. So a Generac generator can do that. It really is an impressive install.
Oh, certainly.
But it also ups the value of your home, so treat it like an investment.
And it really does excite buyers. I'm telling you, Joey, when buyers show up and they see that orange or even sometimes gray Generac generator out front, they know, hey, the power goes out. we're good.
Especially
We
the
get to go out here.
dudes.
Oh,
The men are
duh.
like, what is that, a Generac?
Duh.
Man, I'm feeling Alabama tough. Y'all check out All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical today. You can always go to allproheatingair.com or call them at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fools on the radio, sent you. You're just showing me in the middle of that ad that Tulsi Gabbard endorses Trump in the 2024 presidential race.
How about that?
Oh, yeah. She was a Democrat. She was like chair for Bernie Sanders' campaign.
Mm-hmm.
No, but now she's a stooge for Putin, according to Hillary.
Oh, is that
and
right?
All the wooden-tongued idiots that have that latest thing
Now-
inscribed.
Do you think she's one of several that are going to come?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yes, I think that is beginning. As we played at the beginning of the show with Brett Weinstein, there are many like him who have been Democrats their whole lives who now can see that this regime, whether it's the corporate press, the DNC, many other organs of power, they are nakedly abusing their power in a corrupt way. You have no clothes. And now more and more Democrats, lifelong Democrats, are having the courage to speak up. Pretty awesome, actually, to see.
That's
I've
why I
been
say-
wanting a populist unity party for how many years now?
Oh, forever and a day, to be honest, Joe.
Yeah, I keep repeating it, and people, oh, there's Joey.
I'm telling you,
about
though,
that stupid
just
thing.
the-
That'll never happen.
Just the fact this is happening pre-debate. Where do you see after the debate? I'm telling you, I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be the final show. I think after that we won't see much of this administration.
Let's go to Randall. Hey, Randall.
What, Randall?
Hey, fellas.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good to hear.
On that, when he's gonna pull himself off just a few tickets, Kennedy. Well, ain't that gonna hurt Trump and the popular? I mean, I know popular vote might not matter in a sense, but will they, since there's so many new faces, new minds into the politics, that they think that that's cheating? I mean, you know what I mean? That's really gonna cost Trump the popular vote, but not necessarily the electoral. Y'all
doesn't
think
matter.
he should
Yeah.
still? It doesn't matter.
I don't think so. I think more people are going to be impressed with the fact that Kennedy is siding up with Trump. I think that's going to be a big story. I don't think that many people are going to feel like there's cheating.
And it's not, and it's 10 states he's doing
Yeah,
that,
that's
where
what
he
I was
could
wondering,
even
I mean-
possibly play spoiler. He's taking his name off the ballot.
I guess. And on the abortion thing, I mean, I know y'all saying it'd be banned anywhere, but even right now in Alabama, if something was wrong, they'll do. You know what I mean? If something bad wrong and they know it's gonna kill one or the other, they'll do abortion still in Alabama. I mean, they ain't just took it right off the books. I mean, so
Yeah,
I just
the
want to
life
say,
of the mother is
Right, yeah, there's
still-
some exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I just really want to ask that about the popular vote, because I know that came up when Hillary won, you know, or came and talking about that was one of the things floating through the news. But anyway, I appreciate it, fella.
Appreciate you, Randall. Love you, brother.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation like Randall just did. Again, that's 334-272-9228.
One thing I noticed down in Fort Walton, Destin area, a lot of folks look like Randall.
Yeah?
A lot of Randall-looking folks down there.
Like with their
with the hair and
the straight brim
body, and
hats?
even Craig with the bodies. There was a lot of beach bodies out there. Not
Yeah?
a lot
Were
of
you
dad
feeling
bodies.
a little fat conscious?
Not really, you know. I felt, well, maybe a little bit. But
yeah,
anyway,
were you thinking about becoming a fat activist?
No, I didn't. I just stayed deep enough where nobody could really tell. But I noticed that's a physical trait with a lot of young men nowadays. Everybody's a little bit on the buff side.
They're trying, man.
I give it to them. I think it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing by no means. But I was just kind of shocked. I'm like, where are all my fat boy buddies?
Oh, we ain't here. We're out. We're eating, man. We're inside.
We're
We're
at
eating.
the buffet. What are you doing?
Right. Like, come in. The pizza's fine.
It was pretty.
Now, here's for a strange story. This is from Not the Bee.
Yeah.
An apartment complex charges a woman $15,000 for breaking her lease.
Oof.
But there's a twist. The lodge at Shavano Park Apartments in San Antonio, Texas, wasn't about to let 91-year-old Sanda Bonilla, that's an interesting name, out of her lease for some lame excuse like dying.
Yep. Seen it, man.
According to the apartment complex, Bonilla still owed them a little over 14 grand in future rent, as well as another $1,100 for a lease break fee.
Yep.
And they sent the bill to the next of kin with a threat to send it to collections if they didn't cover her lease. The bill even states the reason for breaking the lease as deceased. What?
Yeah. Those kind of things happen a lot more than people want to think about.
That's insane.
It is insane, but they'll get their money.
What?
Unless a judge stops them, they'll get their money.
What if I say no?
Then they're going to take you to court.
What if I say no?
That's fine. You just have to have your day in court, but that's not free, Joey. You have to start paying to defend yourself.
Or how about put a bench warrant out on me? I'm not paying this because my grandmother died.
They won't arrest you. They'll just attach a lien to everything you ever own.
Frickin' tyrants.
Yeah. 100%, brother.
Yeah, there are folks out there saying, oh, it's pretty unusual. Never heard of anybody trying to charge an estate or somebody who deceased for rent before. According to Eddie, it happens more often than you think.
Yeah. Yep.
They tax you when you're dead, even.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why it's best if you have children, put one of them on your bank account.
That's just insane. That's absolutely insane. And it's unconscionable, too. Like, where's the humanity in those people?
Joey, if you were to go down some of the rabbit holes, not just the federal, but the state, and what they do to older people, how they get their money. But they get their money.
Speaking of the corporate press has no clothes, a study finds ABC, CBS, and NBC have given Kamala, 66% more airtime than Trump, and that's not all.
Shocking.
What? What? I was about to say. I'm not going to say it. What did they? Yeah, let's not.
Is that a good call there, Joe?
Let's not just say some sexual innuendo on air. Let's spare ourselves. Yes, after abandoning Joe Biden, the media are unapologetically promoting Harris with 84% positive coverage while trashing Trump with 89% negative coverage. So overall, 66% of coverage going to Kamala, and 84% of that 66% is positive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, they're not asking her simple things like, hey, you're going to have a press conference? Hey, what's your policy on this?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's your policy on that?
No, we're going to keep pointing out they have no clothes.
Right.
They have nothing. Zilch, zip. They're not wearing a thing. But if you're still watching them in all seriousness, you need to stop. You're either addicted or you think that's the only place you can go because they've told you anybody who's not us is a conspiracy theorist. Okay. It's not like corporate media weaves their own conspiracies.
Right.
For instance, give me a break. They do it all the time. It's called propaganda.
I don't know if you've seen some of the newer laws that are coming on, but here's one in California. There's one going in Oregon now, too. They're close to approving $150,000 loans, home loans, for illegal immigrants. 0 down, no credit check, no nothing.
Mm.
You, me, anybody else that's an American citizen will not qualify for this.
What?
$150,000, Joe. We're going to give you that loan.
Okay.
Not going to do a credit check. I can promise you we don't care if you make the payment.
Right.
But as long as you're an illegal alien, you will qualify for this. If you are an American citizen, you will not. Oregon's doing the same thing. Now, these are the lawmakers to me that are treasonous that do this. They're literally giving away our country, our land, to invaders. Those are your treasonous.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Nuts. But, you know, maybe the hope is they've gaslighted and manipulated and lied about, smeared, done all the things to so many people at this point that now we outnumber them.
It's coming that way, but it's crazy. California, one of the most expensive places in the world to buy a home. We're not going to give Joey the credit. We'll give somebody that breaks in the country $150,000 to do it.
272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Nobody.
They're busy. That's who that is, Joey.
I appreciate that call.
It's busy.
Let's hit a quick break here.
All
But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're Pest Pro. Ashley and the team are ready to help you. You know, it really is great seeing her on Friday.
It was awesome seeing her on Friday.
Yeah, and they're continuing to do great work, not only in terms of pest control services, they really are the best.
Oh, the community service. They
really skilled at what they do, and they get the job done well in a courteous way. Easy to work with them. And yes, as Eddie's saying, they give back to the community.
Just
so
amazing.
much. I love especially the spotlighting of high school athletes. Pretty cool stuff.
Very cool stuff.
And so at Pest Pro, if you're looking for just one job, like say mosquito treatment,
yeah, they can do that.
Or termite inspection
They
treatment.
can certainly do that as well.
Or maybe you're just tired of being attacked by wasps as you're trying to enjoy your, some time outside.
They can take care of that.
They can take care of that. Or they could just be your everyday pest control company.
Right.
They're just giving you general coverage. All you got to do is call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. And on Facebook, you can see a lot of the great local community events and say programs, drives, all the different things they're doing to help folks and give back to the community. That's Pest Pro for you. At least that's the folks we've gotten to know there.
For sure.
Be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. Last week of August, and we've got Labor Day weekend coming up. Today, much like yesterday, with plenty of sunshine, hot temperatures. I think we're going to go up to about 97 for a high today. Sunshine, still dry, with clear skies tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 71. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think we'll be in the upper 90s to near 100. Mostly sunny. Still dry through Wednesday, maybe some isolated, widely scattered storms possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but nothing widespread. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live.
That's right.
You can always check it out on YouTube. Just search for Joey Clark Live, that's the name of the channel, or go to the Book of Faces, or you can, of course, watch on Twitter. At the Joey Clark on X, the X platform. Which I think X is where it's at, man. I really do.
X marks the spot.
X going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Good. Who's this?
It's David.
Hey, David. How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm all right. You sound a little different. Did you get a new phone or something?
Sound like you're in the closet.
Yeah.
Very echoey.
Very echoey.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
And by the way, if you're watching on the stream, I'm shaking up a water bottle. I'm not doing anything
Thank God
else.
for you
untoward.
explaining that.
Yeah, water bottle.
Yeah. Hey, you're talking about the $150,000 for illegals,
Yeah.
which I'm sure Eddie knows this, that I read this past weekend, where in the month of July, almost 6% of people who had contracts on homes canceled them
Yep.
nationwide.
Yep.
That's insane.
Biggest cancellation rate in history
Yeah.
in a 30-day period.
Uncertainty, man. Uncertainty affects the market.
Yeah. Total uncertainty,
And that's what you can always
And,
tell with interest rates. When there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, watch your interest rates. Because banks
Yep,
love everything to be
exactly.
perfectly boring, normal, the same. They do not like any
Yep.
surprises or potential.
Yep, exactly. So, and that speaks volumes, because you've got, Harris and the Democrats trying to convince everybody, blow smoke up our backsides, that the economy's, just doing fantastic. Nothing's wrong. Anything that's wrong, she's going to fix it her first day in office. This tells you everything you need to know about average Americans and where they're at financially right now.
Oh, agreed.
So, anyway, have a good one.
Hey, good call,
Appreciate
David.
it, David. Yeah, and that is crazy. I did see a headline. I didn't do a deep dive because it's not really my world. And how's that really going to help folks? Because it's no money down, right? There's no credit check.
So first off,
So you're giving somebody $150,000 to get them into a place. And what if they don't pay?
They won't pay. Eventually.
Or are you securitizing that mortgage? Are you wrapping it up?
They're using
and,
your money, my money, to secure that mortgage.
and then shuffling it off to Fannie and Freddie
Yeah.
and just backing it with government?
Yep, until they repo, and by then the house will be worth nothing. But all that being said, whenever the government does
people
a
are
giveaway,
thugs.
whenever they do a giveaway on, I'll give you a rebate if you buy this, whatever you're just going to buy just went up by that rebate amount. Like it or not, that's how it works. That's how it works. The best thing you can ever do is tell government, go play with somebody else. Leave me alone.
People are thugs.
But they're doing the
that
same
are
thing
running these
in
programs.
Portland. And again,
They have no sense of any sort of personal property
that's what
or
there you go.
individual rights. They just believe in the collective to the point of we have power and we can take from you and give to them and go kick rocks.
Property rights are one of the last few things that we can hold on to as regular everyday citizens, and they're doing all they can do to take that away. And again, with this new tax that they're wanting to put on people, where you owe 25% of value of your home, what are people going to do? Most people don't have that kind of money. Most people are struggling just to make that payment every month.
Well, it's going to start and only stay at the $100 million threshold.
That's a lie.
Yes, it is.
That's a lie. And so what if it is? That's still wrong.
And
That's
you
still
know-
wrong. You're still picking pockets.
Yeah. Maybe you could actually have, I know it would be a big change for your industry. Maybe you could actually have a free market.
Well, that's the problem.
Instead, because does any other country in the world have 30-year mortgages?
There are a few, but not like a national type deal.
Right, because we prop it up in the government.
Yeah.
And I still remember, I always go back to George W. Bush giving teeth to the Community Reinvestment Act put down by Clinton, talking about everybody needs a piece of the American dream, owning a home. So what we're going to do is print up a bunch of money and hand it out to folks who don't have, jobs, or they don't have great jobs, or they really can't afford these places.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
We're going to lower the standards and have all these vultures from Wall Street swoop in and take
That's
advantage
what
of
happens at
these
the
folks.
end. And honestly, I think when they come up with these plans, that's how they start it. They reverse engineer it. How can I suddenly inherit all these properties? I'll just give out a bunch of fake loans.
You know how more people could own homes? Is you don't prop up prices?
Right. Well, the biggest thing, honestly, the government wants to get involved. I have no problem with that. But provide low interest rate loans and get out of it.
Yeah.
Come and go with that.
I say let the free market work. Stop it with the government backing, and allow people to build more.
Certainly, but the problem with that would be if I couldn't go to a bank to get a loan for a home, and honestly, if the government wasn't there, most people would not qualify.
Right, but here's where I'm coming from. We've had this conversation many a time. A lot of people, rightfully, because it's kind of the only way, use their home as a long-term investment.
Right, which is smart.
In the current system, yes, it is smart. But it would be nice if houses could just be houses. Not the only way the average American can accrue and hold wealth over time. Because instead of having a functioning housing market that actually meets supply and demand needs, and what people need are houses, you have folks who are sitting on houses whose wealth is tied up in it. So it's not about the buying and selling of just someone needs a house, I don't need a house. It's about how do I hold on to long-term wealth in this environment of the government stealing from me at every turn. You're right that this is very smart to do in this market, but everything has a cost.
Oh, yeah.
And when
100%.
you use your mortgage market as a long-term investment, essentially, the only one, again, an average person can really have, of course you're going to get all sorts of screwy aspects of this. And a lot of people are going to be priced out. You're seeing this in particular generationally. Like people my age, say millennials in their 30s or late 20s, or you see even worse, the younger generations, it's very difficult to get in the first place.
I disagree with that because a lot of the people that what they consider getting in.
Yes.
My first house, 900 square feet of nothing.
Sure.
A lot of people, when they get out of college or wanting to go buy a house, they look at what their parents have and they want that.
Oh, yeah. And I agree that phenomenon's out there.
Big
but
time.
also go look at when, say, the boomers were jumping into the housing market. Yeah, it probably was modest, but some of it wasn't as modest. Like things have been inflated a great deal. Obviously, folks have gotten wise to the gas costs more, food costs more. But the biggest place inflation has shown up, say, over the last 50 years is in asset prices, in particular with houses. It's not that house that's been there for 50 years all of a sudden got more valuable. It's that it helped you keep up with 50 years of them printing money. And that, of course, if you're brand new to this world, you haven't lived for 50 years, you've lived for 20, you have to deal with this inflated environment.
I had to deal with it too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the
Gen
house
X
that-
didn't have, the
Well,
boomers had the sweet spot before the real inflation thing got going.
They might have got it a little
Not
bit
every
early,
single boomer, but generationally, it's kind of astounding.
but that can be, people make that argument on lake property. They say, I can't get in now because it's too expensive. I could have got in when you got in, I'd have had it made. Not the case. It's expensive now, but that price just continues to go up. This is what it costs to get in the game. Now, if you don't want to play at that level, that's fine. There's other levels you can play at. But that asset is suddenly not going to devaluate that much. There are times where it goes down, there's no doubt, but it's not going to devaluate. It's just, and to me, I know many people, they'll buy a house every 5 years. They literally rent out that house that they're in. They go buy a new one. That's how it is one of the few ways a common man can generate some wealth.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with that. Like, I think that's a good premise. And you've literally lived it out in practice. Like, I agree. I guess I can move it off housing things, like how much it costs to raise kids now.
Poof, God.
How much it costs to go to college. Like, you're the generation, same as my dad. He's a little older than you. Who, like, yeah, he could go to Auburn and work at Lowe's 40 hours a week and pay for his tuition at
I think I was
Auburn.
the last generation that could happen with.
And now it's astounding. An amazing chart was just put up, by the way, where it tracked the cost of tuition to go to a college and the number of protests. And the lower the cost, like a community college or state, they're like no protest.
No protest. Yeah.
But like
we're just trying to get our education.
If it costs you, 50, 60 grand a year, all these protests are happening on these.
Is that part of the social deal there? You get to protest as well?
Right.
But that's actually a very good point because you're right. Most smaller colleges, most community colleges, I'm just trying to get my degree so I can make my life better. I'm really not here to protest. I'm not here, you do your thing, I'm doing mine.
But no, these privileged rich effers want to go to these places and be like, whoa, I'm living the dream, man. It's just like, I'm fighting the power, man. It's like, no, you're a stupid child.
But how many people have gotten those degrees, got out of college, and then their degree is essentially worthless? But I don't understand how that continues.
Well, some of those folks, it's not about the degree, it's about the connections and the social class, essentially.
Right.
But the underlying point we're making here is everything is more expensive. And it isn't just like when you go buy food every day. Yes, more expensive. It is also when you're trying to get into those asset classes that allow you to hold wealth over time. It is much more difficult for a 20-year-old today in, say, 2024 than a 20-year-old in 1974.
74, yes.
This is my point.
74, I'll agree with. 84.
Now, maybe around like 2004, when they're just giving out houses, it was pretty easy to get into, and thus the problem
That's how you start a problem, Joey.
Yeah, it's like, well, we inflated houses so much that average people can't afford them, so let's just create more money and hand it to them,
start
and
giving them away.
inflate the price even more. And then we'll, securitize that and act like everybody pays their mortgage.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Break, man. Everything is so rigged and fake.
It is.
Talked about the
That's
corporate
what's so
press has no
depressing.
clothes. Our banking system, like the incestuous industries that have a symbiotic relationship with government, whether it's FDA and big pharma, or it's the SEC and the Treasury Department and all your top investment banks and the Federal Reserve, or look at healthcare. Over 50% of payments come from the government in healthcare.
Also
Look at
number one-
education, all the way down to kindergarten, all the way through college. It's becoming more expensive, and the product is crap and getting crappier by the day, despite spending more money.
Yep, daily.
And then everybody who works in these industries goes, "What are you complaining about, you conspiracy theorists? It's fine. I'm living high on the hog.
I'm doing just fine."
These folks. Anyway, let's go to line one. You're
All right.
on there. Who's this?
Simpler days.
Hey,
Simpler Days.
Well, I think we're going to replace the phrase, the terminology of free market with community. I think community is the social term for everything, whether it be housing, transportation, is for the good of the community. And I think that will be a key buzzword in the future you'll hear a lot if the Democrats go back in, is community. So, like the houses in California, they don't care if it drives the property value down around them because they can't make the payments and they get evicted. And they won't care because what's good for the community? And then they'll move somebody else back in, another illegal trespasser, alien. And the community is the most important thing. It's not your individual rights.
Right. Says almost every human society before ours.
Right.
And look at how well they did. But some people want to live that way.
Well,
And they take for granted the wealth and how wealth has been generated in the last 200 years.
You're talking about the housing, Joey. I had to come up, as a young guy in my 20s, and it broke my heart the first time I tried to buy a house, and the old guy named Bo Goodson told me, he said, you don't have a down payment. You don't qualify. So waited a year, came back, had the 10% down payment, and was able to get a house.
There you go.
And I had skin in the game.
Yeah,
I had
just
skin
it.
in the game. So now I was going to take care of the house.
And that's what people don't get, Simpler Days, is they want everything to be free. They want all this. I need this house, and you should give it to me now. Well, the problem is, if I give this to you, though you want it right now, later it will present no value to you, and you will treat it like it has no value.
Right.
That's just what happens.
Right.
I mean, I hate it.
Exactly. And see that, it's about discipline. It's about understanding that, you've got to sacrifice. You got to give something to get something. And it's like you were saying, Eddie, everybody, I had my first house, and it was over on Gaylord Place in Normandale. It was a starter home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved up to another house, a better house, more expensive. And then it's been a process to get to where I am today.
Right.
But now, the generations now, they expect it. And it's to get the same thing I've got right now.
Yep.
And because you have white privilege. And well, no, I worked. And I sacrificed. My family did. We all did. But, it's just sad to see that we're becoming, not a nation of free market, not a nation of people that want to work and better themselves, but let's just give it to not our citizens, not senior citizens, not people that are down on their luck and need help, but to illegal immigrants. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, America's just an economic zone for the elite who don't play by any of the rules you just laid out either. They don't have to sacrifice. Why sacrifice when we can steal it from other people? Like,
that's a lot of people's thoughts. Yep.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate the call, Simpler Days.
See you, brother.
272-9228. This part of the program, in fact, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you. Whether you're looking to buy. Yeah. Whether you're looking to buy or maybe you're looking to refinance. As you're just saying, a home is the best way to hold value over time right now in the current environment. And so if you have gone through the steps of putting yourself in position of owning a home, God love you, and Alabama Home Mortgage is ready to help you out. And even if you're not ready, they're going to tell you. This is what's so great about them. I actually talked to Kim a few years back saying, Joey, your credit's not bad, it's not existent. So here's how you can build it up. They will help you out to get you into that position to where you can own your own home. And of course, they'll help you with the process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And then, of course, they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They can help you with a great refinance deal. So, yeah, you've earned up value in that home and you want to use it.
Right.
Whether you're looking to reinvest in the property or reinvest in your family, yourself. Maybe you go on a big vacation. It's your wealth. You can use it how you like. And Alabama Home Mortgage can help you do just that. So check them out today. You can always go to myalabamahomemortgage.com, apply online. I encourage you to call them up direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Let's go to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing, Michael?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
Wonderful. Doing all right. You got any special deals going on at Cohen's these days?
I sure do. I've got in the Sony world, I've got a nice 75 inch that you can get for like $9.99.
Nice.
I think I also have a 4K Hisense 75 that you could probably get for around $750-ish.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah. So, and then I have some bigger TVs and I have some smaller ones, and we have a good supply of different sizes, depending on what your needs are.
Yeah, and that is a steal right there. And those are good products. And when those first came out, let's just say they cost a lot more than that, right?
God, the TV that I remember the most was when Mitsubishi came out with a 40-inch picture tube. Yep. It was $8,000.
Wow.
It was $8,000.
Man.
And now you can get a 40-inch flat panel. Of course, it doesn't have as near the picture of that picture tube TV has.
Right.
But it's probably $200.
Wow. Wow. But of course, folks, if you do want the newest, biggest TV out there, they have financing options at Cohen's, and they definitely have the products. And of course, don't forget about their appliance side. It's a big store. They can help you fill out a laundry room or a kitchen, or even get you set up with the grill of your dreams, getting ready for football season. You can check out all this from home at thinkcohens.com, but I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard, right here in Montgomery, and be sure to find Michael or one of the team members. Say, hey, I heard Michael on the radio. I heard you on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
And we're really fortunate that I don't have any high-pressure salespeople here. We just want to help the customer make the right choice and buy what they need.
There you go.
We're not trying to make you twist your arm and make you buy something that you don't want.
Right.
We want you to get what you're going to be happy with for years to come.
Well, I appreciate the time as always. We'll talk again soon, Michael.
Take care.
See you, buddy.
Quick break. 1 minute. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hard?
Yeah?
Well, I've been thinking, I'm tired of this house.
What? You want to move?
Yeah, but we'd have to do some updating, to get top dollar.
Updating really does make a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about lighting. That's where Crosby Electric comes in. They'll help you choose a stunning pendant fixture over your bathroom sink, dramatic flush mount lighting over your kitchen island, maybe some LED panels to backlight your countertops. Energy-saving LED lighting has really come down in price. Or how about a new ceiling fan that moves air more efficiently than fans built only 10 years ago? The bottom line, updating your lighting almost always delivers a full return on your investment.
Well, sweetheart, the house looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Guess I'll put out the for sale sign.
Wait.
What?
I don't wanna move.
Find out how to turn your house into the home you'll never want to leave. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to T-Spear. Hey, T-Spear, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Have y'all back after a weekend, Joey. I'd like to go and discuss this situation. Has anybody ever looked at the slums of New York, slums of Montgomery, slums of Birmingham, slums of any large city? Of any, and do you know the common denominator with all of that?
No.
It all started as government housing. And when the government gets in government housing, it takes all personal responsibility of the housing away from the homeowner. And it puts it all on the government. And the homeowner can do it. These $100,000 loans, they may jack up the price of the houses by $100,000 because that's all they've really done. They've made it almost impossible for normal people like you and I to be able to afford a home. Look at the communities today. How many of your large cities have suddenly had a housing boom? More importantly, how many of yours have had a housing boom? Cities like Auburn and Opelika. I would say there are over 5,000 new housing units that have been built in Auburn and Opelika in less than the last 2 years. Why? There's no need for it. There's no infrastructure for it. There's no people who are coming in and buying up those properties. And they're expensive. They're not cheap. They're expensive. The government needs to get out of the housing market. The government needs to get out of our pocket. This is going to be a disaster when you get ready for a person to try and sell their home when over 25% of their home is going to go to taxes or more. And they don't even have to sell it.
Yeah,
anyone today who makes the decision, or whether consciously or subconsciously, to pull that lever with the decided for a Democrat, you're voting to kill your own future. You're not just voting to kill my future, because you could really care less about my future. You're voting to kill your children's future, your grandchildren's future, and your own future. I just don't understand their mindset. I really don't. But this is going to be a disaster. You're going to go and you're going to take unrealized capital gains on that piece of artwork on the wall. Not hard to do if you look at some of the art that's out there. I was fortunate enough to get to babysit a Leroy Neiman years ago. And when I found out how much that painting was worth, I would sit up at night sweating buckets that somebody was going to break into my house to steal that painting. You have a piece of jewelry that's an antique that's been passed down by your family over the years. And all of a sudden you find out that it's worth. All of a sudden that becomes something that the government wants to know about, and they're going to want their dollars off of it, even though you have no interest in selling it, even though you're going to hand it over to your grandchild or your great-grandchild. It's going to become on that antique automobile that you have salivated over and babied and washed and taken out very few times so that it's still in good shape. And you take it to car shows and you brag about it and you show it off. All of a sudden, that $10,000 investment that you made 15 years ago is suddenly worth $75,000. The government's going to want their unrealized capital gain off of that. So it's not just houses that people need to be aware of. Everything that you own is what the government eventually wants to take.
There you go. Well, I got to run, T-Spirit. Appreciate the call.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, hon.
Bleak, but
it's true.
Yep. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Former President Trump, speaking to the National Guard Association in Detroit, says he'll close the border if he returns to the White House. Former Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard joined Trump on stage. Next month's presidential debate could be in jeopardy. There are fresh doubts about the September 10th debate. The Trump campaign said in a statement that both sides continue to disagree on the debate's ground rules. Labor Day weekend, the last blast of summer vacation. That means lots of Americans will be traveling. The Transportation Security Administration expects to screen more people at airports than during any previous Labor Day period. Auto Club AAA says bookings for domestic travel 9% higher than at this time last Labor Day. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-8822. That's 800-838-8822. 800-838-8822.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Everybody, last week of August, and we've got Labor Day weekend coming up. Today, much like yesterday, with plenty of sunshine, hot temperatures. I think we're going to go up to about 97 for a high today. Sunshine, still dry, with clear skies tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 71. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think we'll be in the upper 90s to near 100. Mostly sunny. Still dry through Wednesday. Maybe some isolated, widely scattered storms possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but nothing widespread. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
1819 News.
Thousands of military and civilian cyber leaders will be in Montgomery this week. The Air Force Information Technology and Cyber Power Conference for 2024 is taking place at the Montgomery Renaissance Hotel. 4,000 who are attending this event will hear from cybersecurity officials about what is developing in this industry and how to best protect the U.S. when it comes to cybersecurity. There will be over 200 vendors at this conference, and attendees will be coming from the U.S. Department of Defense, retired military, government, and state contractors and employees. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The Mobile County Sheriff, Paul Birch, says he will continue to send officers to the city of Pritchard in an effort to curtail crime in that area. Birch says his deputies are working to target gang activity and gang members after there has been an increase in crime cases in Pritchard starting last year. Birch says it's an ongoing, sustained campaign to address violent crimes on the streets. The sheriff says residents are very thankful for the presence of the sheriff's department. The Auburn football player who was severely injured in a shooting in Florida 3 months ago has now been released from the hospital. Brian Batty was able to walk out of that medical facility after the shooting in Sarasota in May. Batty's brother Tommy was killed in that shooting. Brian Batty is a running back for the Auburn Tiger football team. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
I'm Eddie Bader.
And I'm Hannah Grantham.
And together we're your listing specialists from Forest Meadows Homes and Land.
That's right. If you're looking to sell your home and get top dollar, look no further. Our secret weapons, top-notch marketing, professional photos, and dedication that's hard to find. And when we say dedication, we mean it.
We know the Tri-County market like the back of our hands. We've got the expertise and local knowledge to get your home noticed.
Why settle for less when you can have the best? Call us, the listing specialist, at 334-368-6358, and let us turn that for sale sign into sold.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. Hey, how about some real fake news real quick?
All right, what you got?
From the Babylon Bee. Attorney General Merrick Garland responded to questions about election integrity and the peaceful transfer of power Friday by reminding everyone that questioning the results of a lawful election is illegal unless Trump wins.
Yeah, you had me there for a second there, Joe.
Yeah, that's just fantastic.
Now, was that law passed?
Here's the fake quote
time?
Garland gave. Again, this is the Babylon Bee. I think our prosecutions have made it clear what we think about people who try to interfere with the peaceful transfer of power, which is an essential and fundamental part of our democracy. Garland said, threatening everyone in the room. But it's still okay if Trump wins, seeing as he can't win. So if he does win, then obviously something fishy went down. And we've got to contest the election right away, since that lawful election was, in fact, not lawful since Trump won. The room full of reporters quickly followed up with a, what?
Huh?
Kamala Harris good, Trump bad, Garland explained.
That's the message.
Oh, said the reporter.
That's the message.
Let's go to 99er. Hey, 99er.
Hi, Joey. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. I was so glad to hear T. Spear on your program. I want to give a good shout out to her. I heard her for the first time on 1819 News not too long ago, and she referred to the immigrants as invaders, and that's the first time I've heard them call invaders, which is exactly what they are. And from now on, whenever I talk to people about these illegals, I will call them invaders.
There you go.
Now, I lived in Mexico studying at the university many years ago, and there are wonderful, nice people there, and in Central and South America. I do not think that the common person realizes that they are being used by the cartel to invade the United States. They are looking at a freedom that they don't have in their country sometimes, and they would prefer to stay in their country, as we would prefer to stay here. But the cartel is somehow giving these people money. I have heard that they are sometimes taking a son or daughter in servitude. They are not getting here on their own nickel and dime. So, yes, they are invading our southern border. We are making it easy for them to give. We are giving them things that our own veterans have never been given at all. And I am hopping mad. And T. Spear, I want you to continue on telling everybody the truth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joey, it's been wonderful to see you mature over the years. And thank you for a wonderful program.
Thank you, 99er. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you. 272-9228. Hey, let's do some local news real quick.
All right.
First, statewide, in Gunnersville, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth had some comments. As politically tumultuous as the last 4 years have been under the Biden administration, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth sees some light at the end of the tunnel if Republicans succeed in re-electing President Donald Trump this November. At a Marshall County Republican Women's Club meeting last week. You ever go to one of those?
I have not.
Republican.
Although I lived one for the first 13 years of my life. My house full of women.
They were all Republicans?
They were all. It was a women's club.
Ah, okay.
That's dang sure.
This was all before third-party candidate RFK dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump.
Okay.
But Ainsworth was telling the women up there in Marshall County that he was bullish on Trump's chances, provided he could clinch Pennsylvania. Unlike the Democrats, whose main strategy appears to be bashing Trump, Ainsworth said Republicans can win back the White House and U.S. Senate by sticking to the issues. Here's a quote. Quote, they're trying to make this about personalities instead of about issues, Ainsworth said.
Right.
But if you look at the polling, the Republicans are policies or issues, whether it's the economy, whether it's immigration and the border, whether it's inflation that's just killing Americans right now, all this woke policy, Republicans are going to win on the issues. Ainsworth predicted that if Trump does win in November, the decision of where to locate U.S. Space Command may revert to Alabama, ranked as a top choice by multiple studies. I remember even the Democrats joined in here locally. Saying, what are y'all doing?
Yep.
Probably the worst thing I've seen in politics is what happened with Space Command, Ainsworth said. If President Trump gets elected, I think it's very realistic Space Command comes back to Alabama.
No doubt it will.
Ainsworth also mentioned the race for newly drawn Congressional District 2 between Republican Caroline Dobson and Democrat Shamari Figures, and how that could upset the balance of Congress depending on who wins the seat. Caroline Dobson is in the fight of her life against a guy named Shamari Figures that'll be speaking tonight. This was last Thursday.
Okay.
At the DNC. That's how important this race is to the Democrat Party. They gave him a primetime spot. I served with his mom, Vivian Figures, and she's my least favorite senator, hands down.
Oh, wow.
They are so liberal and just not respectful, so I hope Republicans win there. Ainsworth encouraged people to get involved in the election process and said he was planning to spend a few days in Pennsylvania to help get out the vote for Republicans. And yeah, Shamari Figures gets that primetime speaking slot, and immediately Caroline Dobson, looking great, is on Fox News.
Oh, great.
Yeah, doing a big old interview with Fox
Kinda
News.
like that.
And I believe Senator Tuberville and Senator Britt were retweeting that, putting out their support, Caroline. So the national aspect of this thing we've been talking about for a while, it's beginning. It really is going to get going after Labor Day.
Oh, no doubt.
After this upcoming holiday weekend. Now, in even more local news, Montgomery has arrested 11 men in a Montgomery County sex sting operation. There was just a news conference held by Sheriff Derek Cunningham.
Okay.
And many other officials, including D.A. Bailey, saying that they've arrested 11 men in this operation. The arrest came after a coordinated law enforcement effort last Thursday and Friday evening. This is according to Assistant Chief Wesley Richardson. This comes after a similar operation 8 months ago that brought in 15 arrests. Richardson said the suspects used chat rooms and social media to arrange to have sex with minors. Of the suspects, 6 are from Montgomery, with 1 from Tallahassee, 1 from Deedsville, and the other 3 from out of state. Richardson said as of this afternoon, 5 have been released on bond, while the other 6 remain in Montgomery County Detention Center. One of those arrested is 26-year-old Ryan Rhodes of Deedsville. He was a senior state trooper. Emphasis on was. He was charged with resisting arrest in addition to electronic solicitation of a child and traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act. Aaliyah said that Rhodes has resigned from his position. A state trooper caught up in this. Holy crap.
Yep.
Richardson said that no children were put at risk in the sex sting and that decoys were used in order to make the arrest. Montgomery County District Attorney Darrell Bailey said the men were going to hotels planning to have sex with the children. He said that the suspects will be punished as severely as the law allows. He said that they face up to life in prison. Bailey did express frustration that some of the suspects were able to be released on bond so easily. He called upon the legislature to make the process more strict. Yeah, I agree.
100%. You can get out on bond when everyone knows your intent. There's no denying your guilt at this point.
And Sheriff Cunningham said he had a message for those who want to prey upon the young people of Montgomery County. We're sick and tired of it, Cunningham said. He repeated a warning he has said on prior occasions, saying to potential lawbreakers that if we didn't get you this time, we will next time.
Yeah. Double down on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do anymore, but I wish they'd publish photographs, do the whole 9 yards, do the perp walk on them, because that's the most disgusting crime there is out there, and we're way too light on it. Obviously, if you can bail out of that, why in the world would we let you back out in society after what you've done proves your guilt? You went to somewhere expecting to meet a child to have sex with. I got nothing for you at that point.
Also, in terms of the legislature, Craig Munger reporting for 1819news.com that State Representative Philip Insler, a friend who's a Democrat, has refiled a piece of bipartisan legislation for the upcoming 2025 legislative session after an identical bill fizzled in the State House in 2024. House Bill 26 bans pistols fitted with trigger activators that convert semi-automatic firearms into automatic, colloquially referred to as Glock switches, since Glocks are frequently the brand of choice for the activators. The bill would make possessing the trigger activators a Class C felony. An identical bill neared the finishing line during the 2024 legislative session, passing the House and a Senate committee. However, like many bills in 2024, gridlock and alleged political gamesmanship over a highly contentious gambling package led to the bill dying on the vine. The prohibitions provided in the bill are currently a federal crime and punishable only by federal law. Insler said a state prohibition would allow state and local police to enforce the ban instead of relegating enforcement to the feds. If passed, the law would not apply to those already federally licensed to possess automatic firearms and their components.
Right.
And also, when you look at these things, like, they're not accurate. It's not like you have a high-class automatic weapon. You do have a weapon that can fire at a very high rate of speed, but kind of good luck controlling that. It's kind of how you end up with a bunch of people who maybe were or were not the target getting hit. And just shouldn't happen in the first place. But that is one piece of bipartisan legislation. I hope when it comes to crime and so many other things that the state legislature will be able to pass a lot of, say, lower hanging fruit they should have done yesteryear.
Yeah. Agreed.
Instead of getting caught up in the usual comprehensive big packages that are, well, the wet dreams of lobbyists and special interests. Excuse me, pardon me.
Kills me as your everyday citizen, you hear, because we didn't pass gambling, we didn't get to pass that bill.
Yeah.
What? I mean, riddle me that, Batman. I just don't understand that for the life of me. If you're doing truly the best for the state, the best for your people who elected you, that's your answer? Next.
I'm still stuck on riddle me that, Batman.
Well, that just drives me crazy.
So
God, I'm getting old.
I don't know if you know this. Like, you're an Auburn fan, right?
Yeah.
You remember the Supper Club?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
remember the bus too.
Right. A new War Eagle Supper Club is coming to Auburn.
Really?
And with it will be a replica of the well-known Supper Club's shop bus.
Every once in a while on Facebook, the bus makes an appearance nowadays. Like, I think it literally in somebody's backyard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And people are seeing it on the interstate being hauled and stuff. But the new location will be on the rooftop of the Graduate Auburn Hotel on West Magnolia Avenue, overlooking Jordan-Hare Stadium. That's nice.
Ooh, that sounds very nice,
that is
Joey.
Nice property.
That sounds very nice.
Wow.
Don't know if we're going to get to experience that.
I'll tell you what, Auburn, if you want high-end eating, we got a few good restaurants here in Montgomery, but they're all kind of...
Per square mile?
Excuse me, pardon me, they're all kind of the same. They're all right, solid, but Auburn has...
Per square mile has got it going on in the restaurant business.
A lot going on restaurant-wise.
Lots of options.
But John Brandt, one of the original Supper Club former owners, told 1819 News that a new bus was designed to look like the original shop bus. The new owners consulted with Brandt on the project. Former State Representative Paul DeMarco was driving down U.S. Highway 280 Saturday when he spotted the bus.
Saw the bus?
He's surprised that a photo he posted on social media got thousands of views within a few hours. I saw that.
Yes, what I mean, man.
People enjoy nostalgia and memories of their college days, he told 1819 News. The original bus was used in the mid-'80s to shuttle patrons to and from the bar. It was eventually parked near the back patio of the Supper Club, where it remained and was turned into an outdoor bar. The War Eagle Supper Club was iconic for generations of Auburn University students. Now, I remember by the time I got there, it was kind of... No, it wasn't fully gone. I think freshman year, it's still there and operating.
Yeah.
But it was not... I suspect here's what happened. It became the hangout for all the graduates and alumni who are coming back and reliving the glory days. So if you're 18,
that's cool.
I don't really want to go see, like, my uncle there.
Well, I do remember the bus being out back, but we just always assumed that's where it broke down at. So they just never moved it from there.
But
then they made it a bar, and we're like, that's so smart.
No, it could be. That is where I hooked up with your mom. Like, it's like, no, like, you don't want to do that in your
You don't want to take people there and go, hey, that bus right there?
You remember the movie American Pie?
Very well.
Would it surprise you, which of the four guys, without going into the dirty details of that plot, which of the four guys do you think I related to the most? In high school, when I saw it. Definitely not Stifler.
No, not Stifler. Main character.
Nope.
Really? Oh, well, hold on. I know which one. I can't think of his name, but I know exactly what his character is. Yeah. The guy who...
With Stifler's mom?
Yeah, Stifler's mom. 100%. That's you. No doubt.
And I was honestly, that's
no doubt in my mind. Several 80s movies you were into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Hughes.
I'm telling you.
He predicted me before I existed.
Several 80s movies had
damn artist always predicting the future.
Yep.
Wow. No, but that's cool. Auburn continuing to develop.
That's great. But Auburn's, again, to me, I know I'm an Auburn fan and all, but that's one of the great places in Alabama. And it's close. Tuscaloosa is a great city, no doubt, but they're kind of further away from me. Auburn's right around the corner. God's country. It's nice. It's just right there.
Yeah. Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. And, of course, more and more folks interviewing RFK Jr. and more folks endorsing
Lots
Trump.
of them, buddy.
We'll get to some of that in a second. We have clips of Tulsi Gabbard giving her endorsement. But here's Glenn Beck talking to RFK Jr. I think he did a long, full interview with worth watching, where RFK talks about how the Democrats hired private investigators to try to keep him off the ballot. Let's listen in.
I can see that.
What scares you about the Kamala Harris victory that would move you to endorse Donald Trump?
Yeah, I mean, our polling from the beginning was saying that we were hurting Donald Trump much more than we hurt the Democrats. So our polling consistently showed that about 57% to 60% of our voters would vote for Trump if I left. And so it was odd that President Trump and the Republican Party never really attacked me. And, it was not trying to keep me off the ballots. They weren't deploying, private investigators to dig up every piece of dirt about me, publicize it, which is what the Democrats had this entire organization that was designed to destroy me, to character assassinate me, and to keep me off the ballot. But it was ironic because I actually hurt the Trump organization. I hurt the Republican Party much more. When it became clear to me that I was not going to be allowed on the debating stage, and the mainstream media had successfully stonewalled me. So, I gave 2 live interviews on the major networks in 16 months. Ross Perot had 34 interviews in 10 months. I only had 2 live interviews on ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, and CNN. And so I was being stonewalled there. I was not going to be allowed on the debating stage. And that really was my path to victory. I could not talk to most Americans. So it became clear to me that we did not have a clear path to the White House, and that if I stayed in the race, that the likelihood was that my presence in the race would get the Vice President Harris elected. Vice President Harris, for me, and if you looked at her speech during the Democratic convention, it was
greatest speech of all time.
I've heard.
That's what the Democrats telling me.
The deep state speech she had. She was preceded weirdly by CIA.
But I like the deep state. Keep talking about it, Mama.
CIA officials who were speaking at the Democratic election, and military officials, and it was a neocon speech. That was about more wars and more wars and more wars, and that is the only policy she's really defined herself as. Right. And I think we're so close to World War III right now. We're so close to nuclear exchange with the Russians. And then the Trump administration, President Trump reached out to me immediately after his shooting. And we began talking. We had a series of meetings by telephone and in person in Minneapolis and in Mar-a-Lago. And talked about the things that surprised me that we had in common, that he wants to end the Ukraine war immediately. He wants to protect children's health. He wants to end the censorship. And those are the 3 principal reasons that I got in the race. And he asked me, not only to win this election, but to help him in his administration to make sure they're able to accomplish some of those goals.
So there's RFK Jr. in his own words, describing again his decision-making process. And I think what I was saying last week is the truth. It's the Democratic Party, at least the party elite, the apparatus that actually runs things, they just are vicious.
I think they just gave him the cold shoulder.
Vicious. Like you think, well, why all this contempt for the ruling class? It's like, because have you seen their disdain? Seen how they consider people that they supposedly are trying to save? Again, the drive to save humanity is almost always a false front to rule over everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't buy into it too quickly. Now, here is Tulsi Gabbard. Also, Democrat her whole life, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, she should have been out of central casting. Let's just be blunt. She's hot. She served in the military, not only serving the military on tours of duty, she served in a medical unit.
Yeah. So she's a hot nurse?
She's well-spoken.
Yes.
Like, can give a damn good speech and make all these points. What didn't they like about her? Oh, she wouldn't play ball on, especially, say, war, and more war. Hillary Clinton labeled her a stooge of Putin because she had the audacity to say, hey, maybe toppling Bashar al-Assad in Syria is not the smartest thing.
Right.
But here's Tulsi Gabbard. I mentioned she's hot. This is today.
Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against its political opponents and undermining our civil liberties, weaponizing our very institutions against those they deem as a threat. Kamala Harris has done this over the last 3.5 years. She won't hesitate to continue that if she is elected as president. President Trump has been their first and foremost target in this because they don't want us as voters to even have the option to vote for him. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president.
By the way, there are going to be folks who go, that's just a conspiracy theory. No, it's
really
literally true.
Yes.
Anything inconvenient for the narrative is a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Keep going, Tulsi.
We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future.
This is at the National Guard Association.
I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
And that was at the same event as Trump. She was there. Add her to the team. Looking at live shots on Fox News right now, apparently they've got a drone in the area, and the task force, the congressional task force that's looking into the assassination attempt against Trump, this task force of congressmen are on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania, going up on the roof where the shooter was shooting from and where he was killed, just surveying the whole area. And probing further and further into what the heck went wrong that day.
You really think they know what the heck they're looking at?
Some of them do. Yeah, no, most of the top leaders on that task force were all former special forces. There are several of those guys in that Congress now.
And they didn't really need to go there. They had everything they needed right in front of them.
Yeah. But it doesn't hurt to look over the premises again and again and again.
PR, man. PR.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They want you to pretend like they gave a crap that the assassination didn't happen.
Yeah, but you were the one sending me some of these guys that are on the task force.
Yeah, and they don't need to go there. They look at maps. The last thing they do is put boots on the ground.
So you think they're looking into it or not?
No.
They're not looking into it at all.
Looking and having a good lunch and dinner, getting back on the evening flight back to D.C.
And there is an image of Trump at Arlington this morning, laying a wreath. Today is the 3rd anniversary of the 13 who died at Abbey Gate. suicide bomber from the Taliban set that off as the United States was exiting Afghanistan in a pretty chaotic way. And of course, again, as I say often, so much in politics these days, even something as, I would say, sacred and poignant as that is a Rorschach test.
Yep.
I saw many people today online saying, Trump's just doing it because it's election time. I'm like, yeah, maybe. You see what you want to see. What you think about politicians is often something more about you than it is about them.
Sure, and if Biden or Harris would have gone there, it would have just been more, it would have taken away from, the fact that they were there would have caused more controversy than the meaning of the ceremony. I think it would have taken away from that.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
I'm back. So Trump's trying to send a unified party approach message, which is good.
Yes.
I think it's a winning message. And, of course, now you're going to see Democrats try to do the same thing. You're probably going to see a bunch of rhinos start, coalescing.
Well, they already had them at the convention. It's like, but I will take RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard over Adam Kinzinger.
All day
and,
long.
Hey, who's excited for John Kasich?
Nobody. Nobody.
And, what's her name? J6 committee girl.
Oh, Liz Cheney.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, Liz,
like Miss Piggy?
Liz,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Let's give her all the credibility in the world, all right? So, I don't know. I think they might even get some very special, thumbs up from some people. Like, well, would you be surprised if Mitt Romney did? I don't know.
No, Romney's already said that.
Well, what about George W.?
I think W needs to keep to being quiet.
I agree.
I think he does too, but I think he might. I mean, I don't know, man.
No, you're on to something.
Around a lot of people. Look, the organized crime syndicate, and believe me when I tell you, the Bushes are hip deep in that mess.
Oh yeah.
That's look out. It's like honor among thieves type thing. You look out for me, I look out for you. He might be forced into it. I don't know. I like George Bush, but there are some things that happened under his administration and all that, and people that got paid off. Cheney's in particular, but others,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I kind of digressed from what I thought about this assassination thing. I told you last week that I was surprised at kind of the hubris of the assassination. How it was just so much in your face, like, yeah, we did it. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. It's really kind of worse than that, though, isn't it? It's more like, yeah, we did it. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. And we hope you know something, and we hope you know who did it, and we hope you do try to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am the emperor, and I got no clothes. Learn to like it.
Right. What you going to do about it?
That's kind of what I know. It's a provocative thing. It's like they're trying. This is just one more thing. Just one more thing. They know that they can. They just know that they can light this fuse of civil war if they keep on sparking it. But they haven't been able to do it yet. You know what I'm saying? So I don't.
Yeah.
I guess if you keep it up, maybe someday, some way, somehow. But I don't see how it's happening, just the way they want it to and when they want it to, and maybe never, especially if Trump gets back in office, because he's going to put the kibosh on it, But that's how bad it is. That's just how bad it is. In my view,
yeah.
I think that's what it looks like to me. Come on, what you going to do, big dog? Yeah, we try to shoot him. What you going to do about it? Hurry up. Does that not? I mean, isn't that the way it feels too?
Yes.
Do y'all see it that way?
Or it's and it didn't even happen. What are you talking about? He wasn't shot.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Let's gaslight him now. Oh, it was just a fragment.
Yeah, and honestly, this whole call has just been a string of conspiracy theories.
Yes, y'all, you just won't stop. You're conspiracy theorists.
But by the way, you mentioned Trump's got the unity message, but this message is also going up in swing states. Here, it's a 30-second ad that's being thrown up, attack ad against Kamala. Let's listen in together.
Everyday prices are too high. Food.
It says the debate we've been waiting for. There are two TVs. And It's Kamala, and it says the debate we've been waiting for, people watching two TVs.
Prices are too high. Food, rent, gas.
Harris.
Back to school clothes. That is called
versus Harris.
Economics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up.
Yes.
It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Wow.
Me. What a mess. Well, the gaslight machine, I would say, is broken at the DNC and on the mainstream press. I don't think anybody's buying it anymore.
Yeah.
They can keep on,
they're going to keep on. They ain't going to stop.
Gaslight farts out there, but I don't think it's working, man.
Well, and I don't know if you heard the first hour, but I brought up the story, The Emperor Has No Clothes, especially when it comes to the corporate press. And what does the emperor do after the kid and the crowd start calling him out? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember that part of the story.
He shivers a bit, says in some versions they're probably right, but he and his train of noblemen keep on walking like he's still clothed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
Yes, praise the Lord. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for letting me call in.
Appreciate it, Bob. 272-9228. We got to hit this break. First, though, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And, before we talk about Todd Clark and the team there, we haven't even gotten all the crazy foreign policy stuff going on. We've been mostly focused on domestic stuff. And
as you mentioned it.
Oof, it's a crazy world. But they're at River Region Contracting. They can help you with that roof of yours. So whether it's an asphalt or metal roof, you should have it inspected on a regular basis.
Right.
Some manufacturers say 3 to 5 years for basic preventative maintenance.
True.
Eddie and I have been suggesting, why not do it every year?
I do.
Making an annual thing. That way you catch problems if you have them early.
Yep.
Or if you don't have problems, you just have peace of mind for another year.
Another year of peace of mind.
And the beautiful thing is when you work with River Region Contracting, their inspections and estimates are always free.
Absolutely free, Joey.
So you call them up, they come out, they go, you're fine, you're not on the hook for anything. You don't owe them anything.
Right.
Other than a firm handshake. Maybe get the guy some lemonade or something.
Good old thank you.
And they're also insurance specialists. So if they do find a problem your insurance might cover, they can walk you through the claims process, make it a swift and easy experience. They like to also educate their customers on their roofs and what they're actually up to. So they're not going to just give you the cold shoulder as you're asking, so what's the problem, how are you fixing it?
Right.
No, they like to inform you on here's exactly how we went about fixing this. They enjoy it, truly. It's part of their model. So check them out today. That's River Region Contracting. There's a reason folks are calling them the premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd and the team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, in stock specials on waterproof 20 mil wear layer luxury vinyl plank and blowout prices. H&H Carpets for all your flooring needs.
Well, hi, everybody. Our forecast remains bone dry at least through about Wednesday. Forecast for tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature down to about 71. I think we'll be in the upper 90s to near 100. Starting tomorrow and then continuing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we start to get into the Labor Day weekend. Mostly sunny, dry through Wednesday. Maybe some widely scattered random showers possible Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but no widespread showers are likely. We need some rain. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, somebody just posted this online saying Trump visits a Vietnamese restaurant, and I never thought that I needed that, but I now can't live without it. So I haven't heard this yet. Let's
Curiosity, baby.
See what happens. Oh, he's walking in.
Somehow, I don't know what it is, you'll have to explain it, but the Vietnamese community loves me and I love them. You know? It's been very special. In Florida, we go down, we have large groups of people, always dressed perfectly with the red and the silver, and I said, you're the most beautiful dressers I've ever seen. But it's a great honor to be with you, and congratulations on your success. Tremendously successful woman, right? So congratulations. And,
Talking about the patron of the restaurant there. But he does it so much better. You remember Mitt Romney doing that crap in 2012?
And it was awkward.
Hi, citizen. My name is Mitt Romney. Would you like to remove the stick from my butt? It's a fun game. You can do it for $0.25.
He was so damn awkward. And that's one thing with Trump. I know people don't like him, whatever, but he is comfortable around anybody. Around anybody.
Yeah. Even Theo Vaughn.
Even Theo, right.
Explaining
even
cocaine
Theo
to him.
Vaughn. So
now here, before I forget, here's Peter St. Onge on Trump versus Kamala on
I don't want to get it wrong.
inflation. Let's see the different approaches they might take with inflation.
Interesting.
Take it away, Peter.
How would Trump and Kamala do inflation different? With her Soviet-era price controls, Kamala is finally fleshing out an economic plan. So far, it is pretty bad. More spending, more taxes, more mandates, more amnesty, more subsidies for the rich, and price controls to empty these shelves. Meanwhile, like his first term, Trump is focused on reducing costs, which get passed on to lower prices. That means cutting overregulation, cutting taxes, and, of course, drill, baby, drill. So higher costs versus lower costs. There are, to be fair, 2 points of overlap: government spending and tariffs. I've mentioned Trump's pre-COVID spending was about average for recent presidents, while Biden has doubled that between program increases and boondoggles like Build Back Better. Kamala does not have a record to run on, but so far she's to the left of Biden on every economic issue, from taxes to drilling to, of course, price controls. So Kamala could be worse on spending than Biden. And then there is tariffs. When he was president, Trump put tariffs on roughly $380 billion worth of Chinese goods. While mainstream economists predicted Armageddon, a subsequent study found that 80% of those tariffs were actually paid by China. So Beijing reimbursed exporters, kindly paying our taxes for us. What's left had a tiny impact on inflation. During the height of the tariffs in 2018 and 19, inflation was 1.5% and continued at that level until Joe Biden took office in 2021. Moreover, Biden has kept most of the Trump tariffs, and given that tariffs are bought by industry lobbyists, it is a safe bet Kamala would keep them too. Having said, Trump is now promising much higher tariffs, so up to 60% against China and 10% on every other country. China may not be able to reimburse its exporters 80% again. It is too much money, and Mexico definitely won't. So we could be looking at several $100 billion in additional cost to American consumers, which is about 1 to 2% inflation one time. And for perspective, that's about the same as Trump would save if he cuts energy costs in half with more drilling, as he has promised. Of course, keep in mind that several $100 billion is not pure cost. It reduces imports, which creates several 100,000 jobs for Americans. Moreover, the tariffs themselves are new government revenue that could also, as Trump is promising, pay for cuts to income taxes. So no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, or more across-the-board cuts. Considering that income taxes are much worse economically, they punish production, you could actually end up with lower inflation with tariffs, as in there's more stuff, prices go down. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Media will obsess on tariffs because it's all they've got. But tariffs pale in comparison to government mandates, so estimates peg overregulation alone at least 20% inflation, $4 trillion plus a year. And unlike tariffs, government mandates don't buy jobs, they destroy jobs. And meanwhile, tariffs fade to an afterthought compared to government spending. Biden's spending orgy bought us not 2% inflation, but 20% inflation in 3 short years. If Kamala the president is as left-wing as Kamala the candidate, she will easily top that. A new episode of the Roundup podcast just dropped, including Kamala's price controls doomed the millennials and how public schools made voters dumb, along with an interview with Lawrence Lepard on our debt disaster that I think you will really enjoy. Check them out at petersaints.com or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, that's Peter Saint on, and I got to get that guy on the show. I keep saying
I think it'd be a good idea.
Need to pull the trigger on that. Yeah, it's just amazing seeing his success, and yeah, got to reach out to him. Let's hit this break. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health...
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
God, I'm looking up at Fox News and they got Ari Fleischer on now. They had Karl Rove on a second. It's just, it's so miserable.
Did you ever watch Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
He looks like Drew Carey's brother. That's really who I thought it was when we first looked up. I really thought that was Drew Carey.
And all those years ago, that's when I first fell in love with Craig Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. I freaking love
I
that
forgot
guy.
all about that.
Let's go to Ray from Prattville Carpet. Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Hey, man. Hey, Friday, do you remember? Oh, I'm getting some kind of call back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, that's good now.
Hey, maybe that's... So, Friday, when I was on with that awful home music with AT&T,
Yes.
they sent me after an hour and a half to the wrong department.
But of course. Hello.
The lady tried to apologize profusely, and I was laughing so hard. I don't know if she thought I was crazy or not when I figured out what I said, ma'am, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure you live in Taiwan. I'll never meet you in my life. Please just send me to the right department. She said, don't worry about it, honey. I've already disconnected the phone. So I said, oh, you're from Alabama. And you could have done this right off the bat instead of making me wait an hour and a half. Okay, I got it. I see how this is. So I did get the phone done. But that was, yeah. The moral of the story is, I promise you, I will not treat you like AT&T does if you're trying to disconnect the phone.
Hysterical. You'll treat people much better than that.
Yes.
Much better. They mean you're not going to, that's a, sign up for life on that deal because you can't get the right person to cut one off.
Oh, I went through that battle with Spectrum the other day. Like, really? What part of India are you from?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, listen, if you're in the need of any kind of flooring, showers, tile work, wood, laminate, LVPs, carpet, call us today, 285-8117. We're not going to keep you on for an hour and a half and send you to the wrong department. Within an hour and a half, I'll have somebody at your house measure.
There you go.
That I believe.
Again, that number, 285-8117. If you want to set that up, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them that you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Y'all have a great day.
You too, brother.
Great hearing from him. Did we learn anything today?
I learned that the world is still going crazy, Joey.
Yeah, and I had a new leaf turned over for what? Like,
oh, you lasted 15, 20 minutes? Maybe 25 minutes?
I think I got over half an hour.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then Lindsey Graham saying
Yeah,
stuff.
okay, but how much of that, if we deduct commercials, how much of that did you really make it?
I did. That's a good point. I'm not going to argue with you. I lost my cool as soon as I started hearing about it. But Lindsey Graham told me that. It's like, okay, good job.
It happens to me all the time.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
All right.
Happy hour with Greg Vidal. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott.